What's going on, friends? It's Anton Daniels, and I gotta have a conversation with you guys about Tiege Hanley because you see how the sun is hitting me. This is no finesse, no makeup, no filters, no none of that. This is 100% Tiege Hanley. I use it in the morning as soon as I get up, right after I pray and brush my teeth, jump in the shower, and I'm hitting the streets because you never get a second chance to make a first impression. So even though they're giving you 40% off your first order, 20% off for life, even though you may get a free gift, forget all that, right? Because we would do this even if it was full price because it's worth that much. I'm in the streets, I'm kicking it with people, and I see Dusties everywhere. You don't want to be them. You want to separate yourself. And the way that you separate yourself is self-care. Ladies get it for the fellas. Fellas don't wait for the ladies to get it for you. I'm about to hit the streets right now, and I'm feeling confident. I'm feeling great. I mean, I already got confidence, but to have that extra boost of confidence, knowing that you've taken care of yourself and you set yourself apart from all of the rest of the sheep that's walking around making bad decisions on a daily basis. And it's reflected in their actions. It's reflected in the products that they use. It's reflected in the people that they follow. And so if you're trying to level up, if you're trying to make sure that you look good, they're going to send you the pack. They're going to give you all of the instructions on how you're supposed to use it. Then make sure you get your Tiege Hanley. Again, 40% off your first order, 20% off for life. Get your free gift. Make sure you tap in with your boy Anton Daniels because Unc is never going to lead you wrong. I would never have you use a product that I don't use myself. Again, they've been rocking with me for a long time. Make sure you get your Tiege Hanley. I love you. I appreciate you. I'm going to holler at you guys later. What's going on is Anton from AntonDaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me. Thank you for tuning in for another edition of the Millionaire Morning Show. I am your host, Anton Daniels. What up, what up, what up, what up, what up? Give yourselves a round of applause for being here today. We are in the building. I appreciate you. It is Friday. It didn't seem like it was Friday this fast. For whatever reason, it seems like the day went by really, really quickly, or the week went by really, really quickly, but we here, and I got a full show that's lined up for you guys, and it is an awesome show, all right? So I am going to have to update what I got going on in there, but I do want to acknowledge the people that's in the building. What up, friends and family? I appreciate y'all. Let me acknowledge the Cash Apps early in the show, and then we're going to get to the prayer, and then we're going to go ahead and get to the real. All right, I want to acknowledge Maria. Shout out to Maria. Maria's in the building, says, a lot of Dems got rich from that open border. I agree with you, Maria. Also, ESDC in the building, and then my dog, Mike, that dude. Shout out to all of y'all for running it up. Thank you guys for supporting the platform. I also want to acknowledge some of the super chats early in the building. Coach Heiss says, peace, Uncle Anton. We running from Baltimore to Connecticut, Enfield. Bop Bop Express Trucking in the building. Shout out to y'all. I appreciate you. AR Smitty in the building says, we got to get the homie Quentin together, AD. That shirt situation is some scandalous work. Hey, fellas, do not walk around with a t-shirt with no drawers on, okay? That is for the ladies. Latrell in the building. Shout out to Latrell. And Whiskey Pierre says, Anton Shalom. Blessings to you and to the bag chasers. I appreciate you also. Yo, last night was wild. Last night was crazy. Yes, it was. If you guys are not subscribed to this channel, I would suggest that you do so. If you are not subscribed to After Hours, I would suggest that you do so. If you are not subscribed to the Anton Daniels channel, I would suggest that you guys do so. It was a crazy show last night. But guess what? On Thursdays and Fridays, we go back to back. We going back to back. So on Thursdays and Fridays, we do have back-to-back shows. Tonight, we will be doing After Hours with the crew. I don't expect for anybody to be missing. I think everybody going to be there. We're going back to back. I'm going to have to check with Carrie. Carrie be switching up on Fridays. You know what I'm saying? But we here, we kicking it, we in the building, and we going to completely run it up. I got to add a title to this show. I don't know why I wait to add titles to my shows. What up, friends in the building? I appreciate y'all for continuing to hold me down. Thank y'all for always rocking out with the Millionaire Morning Show. Nice for Everything says, good morning. I became a bag chaser this week. I bought that yearly subscription. I want to take full advantage of your expertise in planning to become a millionaire by the end of the year. I like that. I like that. I like that. Yo, we got a live stream, Patreon exclusive live stream. This weekend, I will be updating the Patreon today with the details of that live stream so that you guys know exactly what's going on out in these streets. And then I can add value into y'all lives. But what up, y'all? How y'all feeling this morning? Again, it is Friday, and so it's always another opportunity to do great things. I hope y'all rested. I hope y'all ready for the day. It's going to be a full day today. I hope y'all stay bundled up and warm. I see my girl Molly in the building. I see Jerry in the building, your car. Josh, Carla R, Mr. Anthony, Ken Hayes. Hey, y'all let me know how y'all feel inside of the chat. What's the sentiment? Let me add a title to the show while we figuring out how we feel. Let's see. MS and U.S. troops deployed. Migrants arrested. That's good. That's good. I like that. All right. So now we got a title put into the show. We just did that on the fly. And we in the building, y'all. We in here. We are definitely in here. So again, I like y'all. I love y'all. Y'all are the greatest audience on earth. And I just want to make sure that I add value into y'all lives. All right. All right, y'all. Let's go ahead and get started with the show. Why is apps launching when I said don't launch? Oh, I clicked the wrong thing. All right. Well, I ain't going to worry about it. Anyways, y'all ready to get started with the show? Tired but great. It's a wonderful day. Deadlines to meet today. We'll get there. So I guess they don't like the angles. Lord have mercy. Let's see. Motivated, trying new things and increasing my portfolio. Feeling good. Good morning. Feeling awesome. Trump signed some crypto executive orders. Ain't slept in the last 24 hours and still want to get back to work. Let me tell y'all why some of y'all not sleeping the way that y'all supposed to. Give me a second. We're going to force quit Zoom. I don't like that. Let me tell y'all why some of y'all are not sleeping the way that you're not supposed to, because you don't have systems. You don't have systems in place, and that's why you're not sleeping the way that you're supposed to. A lot of y'all are sleep deprived because you think that you can just work your way to death. You got to transition. You can't stay in the I'm going to work until I die mode. That is good for motivation. That is good because it shows that you have the skills, the gumption, and then also the stick-to-itiveness to be successful, but then you have to input systems in place. The first system that you got to put in place is you need to make sure that you live and die by your calendar. I don't know anybody, and I say nobody, zero people who are successful that do not live and die by their calendar. A lot of y'all ask me, Anton, how are you so dedicated? How do you put out the content? How do you remain consistent? How do you never miss? How are you able to do all of the things that you do on a regular basis? It's because I've started to put systems in place. When you put systems in place, then you can see the gaps. You can then start to schedule when you're going to rest. You can make sure that you take rest in between certain times. I realize that me in particular, I can't live stream in the afternoons because it allows for me to reset, get caught up on everything, and then schedule everything for Thursday, Friday, and then get ready for the weekend, right? I live and die by my calendar. My calendar is my Bible. I can't exist without my calendar. I have to make sure that every single thing I do, it is in my calendar. If I'm live streaming, it's in my calendar. If I'm meeting with people, it's in my calendar. If I got an interview to do, it's in my calendar. If I'm traveling somewhere, I check my calendar to see where the gaps are. Okay, so I can only fly on Wednesday this week, and I have to get back by Sunday, or I can fly back by Tuesday if I'm over in Washington because it's only a less than 2-hour flight, so that I got to get this scheduled to get going out. So I got to contact with this person. If you don't have systems in place, you're going to burn out. If you don't live and die by your calendar, you are going to burn out. Some of y'all say, I'm working 24 hours, I'm working 48 hours. That's cool occasionally. But if that's what you're doing on a regular basis, you won't be able to thrive. You won't be able to survive. You're going to burn out. And then you're going to wonder why you can't remain consistent and how everybody is beating you. It's because you don't have a calendar. And then what this affords you to do is to start to see where you can start to add people in there. Okay, you know what? I need a little bit of help here so I can create more capacity for myself to go out and sell, to go out and create more content, go out and take care of more business. I need somebody to handle this part of the business. But you can't see that. You may think that you need help, but then you just adding people for the sake of adding people. You get an overlap. You don't know how to manage them effectively. Everything is systems. Systems. Systems will allow for you to replace yourself. Systems will allow for you to be as efficient as possible. Systems will allow for you to be able to grow. Systems will allow for you to get rich. If you do not have a calendar, if you're not starting to look at the gaps, if you don't live and die by your calendar, you will not make as much money as you think you can, and you're going to burn yourself out. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. Put systems in place. It'll change your life. If you just working hard and you don't live by a calendar, that's like spending money without a budget. That's like paying bills without a budget. If you don't know where your money is, if you don't know exactly how much you need to put into somewhere, if you're not playing a percentages game, then you can't even project your success. Go and look at the budget video that we just did inside of the Patreon. Go and look at the budget video, not the one that I just dropped, the one right before that where we did the live stream, where I taught y'all how to budget differently and look at it from a corporate perspective and look at it from a business perspective. And it's different from any other budget video that y'all have ever seen. You can't project how much money you're going to make and then plan accordingly to whatever it is that you need to spend to reduce your tax burden if you can't look at it and then reevaluate it quarterly and then evaluate it based off of what you did last year or the year before, and then be able to project earnings looking at what your numbers are. If you don't have a system in place to do that and you just going by your head and by the whim, you're going to give too much money to the federal government legally. You're going to pay too many taxes. A system allows for you to be able to see clearly. I can navigate. Okay, here's a better analogy, and then we're going to go ahead and get to the show. Why do people use Google Maps, Apple Maps, Waze, the Tesla Maps? Why do people use maps in cities where they live? You've been living there in your entire life, but you use maps. Why? Tell me why you use maps. Why do you still use GPS? Before I get to the car, I go into my Tesla app. I start the car up to warm it, right? I put it at the temperature that I wanted temperature. Before I even get to the car, 10 minutes before I get to my truck, I start the car up and then I put in my different locations and then I send it to the truck. Okay, I need to stop here. I need to stop here. I need to stop here. And then I send it to the truck. Why do I do that? I know this city like the back of my hand. Why do we use maps? Some of y'all got it. Some of y'all don't have it. We use maps because it allows for us to move more efficiently through the city. Because maps are now smart enough to be able to tell where the traffic is. Or it lets me know exactly what my battery is going to be by the time that I reach my final destination. It then can tell me things that I don't know, even though I know every single way to get home. It may say, oh, it's an accident over here, so you need to go this way. It assists us. That is what artificial intelligence is. Artificial intelligence is there to make our lives easier. I know how to go and create a document, a spreadsheet, how to put together a presentation, all of that stuff. But because I now know how to program AI more effectively to allow for me to create something more efficiently, and it saves me 12 hours throughout the day. So systems allow a map. Using maps is a form of systems. It allows for me to move more efficiently. It's not that I don't know. I could just go out here and wing it and drive and get there and probably do okay. But I can get there faster, more efficiently, save time, and be able to add some stuff to my schedule and plan more accordingly. So now I know, oh, okay, so listen, Maps is telling me that I'm going to get here by 8:12. That means that I have an hour and 48 minutes before my next live stream tonight. Okay, so I got some time to do this. I got some time to do this. I could plan this more effectively. Let me call this person and let them know, or I need to schedule this a little bit later. Systems allow for you to be able to map things, help people, set things up, operate more efficiently. That is what a system is. That is what a calendar is. I can plan what my sleep schedule is going to be. I can plan my flights more effectively if I know exactly what I need to do throughout the week, right? so you can then plan and be more efficient in your day. We don't use maps just for the sake of using them. We use them because it makes our lives easier and it allows for us to be more efficient in what we're doing. You have to use systems. Systems will save you money. Systems will get you richer. System will allow for you to be able to be greater at whatever it is that you do for a living. Okay? All right, just a little bit of insight. Just think about it and then implement it in your life. Lord, we ask that you come before us today and allow for us to be a lot more efficient and to be smarter, to have the work ethic. Give us that, because that's something that you can't give people. That's something that you can't teach. Give us work ethic. Give us the desire to be successful and greater and better versions of ourselves. And then allow for us to be open to learn so that we can be more efficient, so we can be smarter, so we can be wiser, so we can be richer, so we can create better lives for our children and the people that's coming after us, so that we can pay people more money, so that we can help our economy, so we can help our environment. Allow for us to be greater versions of ourselves. But in order to do that, we got to be open to the information and not think that we know everything. And bless us. Let me add this in here, Lord. Bless us not to be so easily offended. We so sensitive. I don't like him, so I'm not going to let him give me the information to make me rich. I don't like her because she said something to hurt my feelings. Bless us to get out of our feelings and get into the money. Bless us to be masculine in our ability to see through and get to the money. Bless us not to be so weak and sassy and emotional and making decisions that's not in our best interest because we sensitive. Bless, Lord, rebuke sensitivity. Sensitivity. A man like me. Lord, rebuke that part of the song. Don't let us take that part of the song. Rebuke men begging in the 90s because they led us down the wrong path, Lord. Rebuke men that was on their knees begging for mercy and saying, baby, baby, please, because they gave us all of the wrong information. And most of those same dudes is broke, fat, and in jail today. Lord, rebuke sensitivity. Bless us not to be sensitive in our ways, and let us focus and drop our balls and stand up in our masculinity so we can go and get this money, because money, it fixes a multitude of things. And I know that people try to say that money don't mean anything. That's because they too broke or they haven't made enough in their life. Lord, bless us to be able to understand that we don't love money, but we definitely need more of it so we can change the dynamics of our daughters' lives and our sons' lives. We don't want our daughters and our sons being broke and trying to ask for scholarships and student loans forgiveness from the federal government because our fathers and our mothers was dusty. Bless us to make better decisions financially and not to be so sensitive. Sensitive ain't never paid the bills, Lord. Bless us to see that. Sensitive ain't never helped us to become better versions of ourselves. Bless us to see that. Bless us not to be offended at our boss when they tell us that our breath stank, but to brush our teeth so that we won't offend everybody at work. Bless us not to get sensitive because somebody tell us that we need to lose weight. Just bless us to take it in so that we'll be able to get better looking, and then we'll get more opportunity. They not telling us that we need to lose weight because they just like us or they trying to offend us. They telling us because our friends keep telling us that we look good. And every time we get in the mirror, we don't like what we see, but we keep on asking you to give us some insight. We know that you sending the word through other people and it don't have to necessarily come through you. It come through your angel. So bless us not to be easily offended when somebody tell you that you need to change your hair so you can level up and get a better promotion. Bless us not to think that we know everything. Bless us, rebuke sensitivity. Rebuke sensitivity. I ain't never seen that word in the Bible as anything good. I ain't never seen God say be more sensitive in the Bible. Bless us to not be sensitive. If they tell you that you dusty, look in the mirror, get a brush and dust the dust off so that you'll be able to get the results. Lord, I want all of the box that I can get. I love getting box. Box is a good thing. I love getting the money. Money is a good thing. I love success, Lord. Success is a good thing. Trips is a good thing. Shopping is a good thing. My daughter and my wife being happy, that's a good thing. I can't be sensitive. I can't be sensitive because I can't give them what they need. And then she in turn give me what she need or give me what I need. I need my chick's shoulders down, Lord. And in order for me to have her shoulders down, she need to be in her full femininity. I can't have her out here being dusty because then she going to be looking dusty when she get into bed. I don't want her dusty and get into bed. I want her to be pampered all day long. So by the time that I get home, all they want to do is put their head in my lap, Lord. I need more heads in my lap. I need lap head. Lord, I want imprints on my thighs. And the only way that I can get that is by you removing the sensitivity so that I can do what I need to do in order to get to that bag. Lord, we pray everything in Jesus' name. Amen. Amen. Y'all ready to get down to the show? Oh, y'all don't ask God for y'all what y'all want? Y'all ask God for what everybody else tell y'all what y'all should ask God for? God said ask for what you want. God said, ask for what you want. I believe it. Don't tell me to stop it. You stop it. I want imprints in my lap. I want imprint in my lap. Lord, give me more lap head. Anyways, this is the Millionaire Morning Show, the greatest show on earth. Send this to your family and friends. We get straight to it. We don't play no games. We get straight to it. All right? That's not derailing. That's how prayers go. That's how the prayers. If God know me, God know me. He know me. He know what I love. He said he made me in his image. All right, y'all. Y'all ready to go ahead and get started with the show? Let me read this last super chat and we're going to get it popping. Lord, please rebuke the Ralph Tresvant influence in my life. After hours is tonight. After hours is tonight. All right. Okay. If you prayed that prayer in front of your girl, I bet you she changed. No, that prayer was not off track. That prayer was on. If we prayed like that, it would be more men in church. Why people keep saying I ain't got pants on? I got pants on. I wear pants. Jesus. I got pants, shoes. I got dress shoes on. I got the whole uniform. I don't slack. If we had more prayers and conversations like this, it would be more men in church. I guarantee you. I guarantee you there will be more men in church, and then the women can find a spouse instead of them all scissor kicking in church and then finding all of the gay men in the choir. Amen. Amen. If you want to get men in church, we got to start being real. We got to have the right prayers. Find the right scriptures. All right. Anyways, make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. We're going to be reading Super Chat shortly. Let's get to the show, ladies and gentlemen. Right after prayer, Trump spoke at the World Economic Forum, and he had some conversations and some things that he wanted to convey, and this is what he said. Let's get to it.
Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the United States, Donald J. Trump.
Well, thank you very much, Klaus, and hello to everyone in beautiful Davos. This has been a truly historic week in the United States. 3 days ago, I took the oath of office, and we began the golden age of America. The recent presidential election was won by millions of votes, and all seven, every one of them, all seven swing states. It was a massive mandate from the American people like hasn't been seen in many years, and some of the political pundits, even some of my so-called enemies, said it was the most consequential election victory in 129 years. That's quite nice.
The one thing about my president, and let me tell you why I like Trump. One of the reasons that I like Trump is not just on what he delivers on, because he say what he gonna mean, and he mean what he saying, and he do what he said that he was gonna do when he get there, is because Trump don't miss no opportunity to self-promote. Trump be like, listen, They said that I wasn't going to be here today, but I'm right here because my opponents tried to stop me, but I got here anyway because the American people said that I was supposed to be here to save America. Trump don't miss no opportunity, and I don't blame him because I do the same thing. Real recognize real. Trump gonna open up the World Economic Forum by letting you know that he got there on his own too, by making sure that he beat all of his opponents in the head and won every single swing state. Trump is not messing around with y'all. He not gonna miss no opportunity to let you know how great he was and how he should be on the Mount Rushmore by himself as the greatest president of all time. That's my president. I like that. That's masculinity. We need more of that. We don't need none of that fakeness. Oh, you guys are the greatest. No, we need people to let you know how they got there when they got there and how they came in the presidential motorcade.
What the world has witnessed in the past 72 hours is nothing less than a revolution of common sense. Our country will soon be stronger, wealthier, and more united than ever before, and the entire planet will be more peaceful and prosperous as a result of this incredible momentum and what we're doing and going to do. My administration is acting with unprecedented speed to fix the disasters we've inherited from a totally inept group of people and to solve every single crisis facing our country. This begins with confronting the economic chaos caused by the failed policies of the last administration. Over the past 4 years, our government racked up $8 trillion in wasteful deficit spending and inflicted nation-wrecking energy restrictions, crippling regulations, and hidden taxes like never before. The result is the worst inflation crisis in modern history and sky-high interest rates for our citizens and even throughout the world.
Somebody says, somebody wants my attention. Y'all know the chat is my co-host for the show. The attention seeker, Timothy Jameson, says, Anton Daniels, America is satanic with or without Trump. I like this one right here. I want you to big up Trump as hard as you can. Go extra hard. Let me ask y'all a question. If y'all feel like this country is so demonic and satanic, why are y'all here? Why do y'all take money from y'all white man boss that y'all don't like? Why do you beg these satanic and America is so evil people for food stamps and Section 8 and housing to clothe you and your ugly children? That's all I'm saying. I would just wish for everybody that hate America to get the heck out of America. Respectfully. If you don't like this country, leave. Why would you want to hang out at, I was saying that about people that always complain about their job. Like, why are you there if you don't like it? If you hate it so much, why did you apply to work there? Why everybody trying to move here if it's so demonic? Every single country got its history and its ugliness. Your family got people inside of there still touching on little girls. You ain't called the police on them yet. Yo, listen, some of y'all are the ones that are the demons because America is just a reflection of its people. So if you don't like the country, then that means that you don't like yourself. We can disagree with the stuff that happens inside of the country, but at the same time, why don't y'all just leave? Leave, run, jump on the same plane as the migrants. Anybody that want to permanently leave the United States of America, let me know. I'll help fund it. We need to have a GoFundMe for all of these people that are draining the resources from the United States of America and taking away from taxpayers, not adding into the system, while at the same time complaining about what the country ain't doing for them. I just want y'all to leave. I just want y'all to get the hell up out of here. Just leave. Just walk away. The same way that you left your kids when your girlfriend told you that she was pregnant, leave America. Use that same method. The same way that your kids don't know you, America don't need to know you either. Get your passports. Go over and make another country demonic and hateful. All of these people that hate America so much, leave like you leave your children. Leave like you left your girlfriend when she told you that she was pregnant. That's all I'm saying. Go ahead and do your thing, big dog.
Food prices and the price of almost every other thing known to mankind went through the roof. President Biden totally lost control of what was going on in our country, but in particular with our high inflation economy and at our border. Because of these ruinous policies, total government spending this year is $1.5 trillion higher than was projected to occur when I left office just 4 years ago. Likewise, the cost of servicing the debt is more than 230% higher than was projected in 2020. The inflation rate we are inheriting remains 50% higher than the historic target. It was the highest inflation probably in the history of our country. That's why from the moment I took office, I've taken rapid action to reverse each and every one of these radical left policies that created this calamity, in particular with immigration, crime, and inflation. On day one, I signed an executive order directing every member of my cabinet to marshal all powers at their disposal to defeat inflation and reduce the cost of daily life. I imposed a federal hiring freeze, a federal regulation freeze, a foreign aid freeze, and I created the new Department of Government Efficiency.
And I 100% agree. We don't have no money for nobody else right now. The Bible says you got to get the beam out of your own eye. You need to fix your own backyard. And I say it all the time here on the Millionaire Morning Show. You can't help nobody until you help yourself. We ain't got nothing else to get. We are in debt. We are trillions, not billions, not millions, not thousands, not pennies. We are trillions of dollars in debt. We don't have no more money to give to nobody. We done. You're going to have to help yourself. I can't give nothing to you until I fix my own situation. My own house. I'm losing my own house. I can't help you save yours. I can't help you save yours. We got to fix them. America is closed for repairs. For the next 4 years, America is closed for not only are we closed for repairs, we want all of our money back from everybody that keep on taking from us. We're not giving no more money to NATO. We're not giving no more money to the World Health Organization. We don't care if all of y'all get measles. But the world is breaking up. It looks like they got to do some work on their own soil to fix the measles. But everybody in South Africa, the AIDS rates and the HIV rates is going up. Look like they got to do some work on strapping it up. They got the internet, right? They gonna have to fix their own. We ain't got no more money for nobody else. I got to pay my own bills. I got to take care of myself. The stronger I am for me, the stronger I am for you. That's what I say.
I terminated the ridiculous and incredibly wasteful Green New Deal. I call it the Green New Scam. Withdrew from the one-sided Paris Climate Accord and ended the insane and costly electric vehicle mandate. We're going to let people buy the car they want to buy. I declared a national energy emergency, and it's so important, national energy emergency to unlock the liquid gold under our feet and pave the way for rapid approvals of new energy infrastructure. The United States has the largest amount of oil and gas of any country on earth, and we're going to use it. Not only will this reduce the cost of virtually all goods and services, it'll make the United States a manufacturing superpower and the world capital of artificial intelligence and crypto. My administration has also begun the largest deregulation campaign in history, far exceeding even the record-setting efforts of my last term.
I'm with it.
In total, the Biden administration imposed $50,000 in additional regulatory costs on the average American household over the last 4 years. I have promised to eliminate 10 old regulations for every new regulation, which will...
You ain't lying. Regulations, you get regulated out to death. You can't do nothing. You can't start nothing. Have y'all ever tried to open up a business, like a real business, not one that you're just doing from your house, but like a brick and mortar? Have you ever tried to build something like build a restaurant or whatever, and then you still... Let me tell you what happens. You build something, you doing it the right way, you trying to pull permits. They got all of the red tape. You can't get nothing done. Gotta wait for inspectors. Meanwhile, somebody will be selling plates on the side of the road with a sign, and the police just drive right by him. You trying to actually do it the right way. You working with the city. They got all of this red tape. They making you pay tens of thousands of dollars in fees, and somebody is on Instagram advertising plates. Actually, Facebook, because they do that the old school way. Hey, y'all, I got plates for sale. Meatloaf, macaroni and cheese, green beans, and I'll deliver it to your job. They make it inside of their house with all of the cat hair and the dogs barking over the food. You trying to do it right and do it legally, but all of the red tape is preventing you from getting things done. That is literally what's been happening in America. And for every new regulation, we need to get rid of 10 of them because we just got too much regulation. It's overly regulated.
Soon put many thousands of dollars back in the pockets of American families. To further unleash our economy, our majorities in the House and Senate, which we also took along with the presidency,
Y'all know I'm telling
are
the
going
truth.
to pass the largest tax cut in American history, including massive tax cuts for workers and family, and big tax cuts for domestic producers and manufacturers. And we're working with the Democrats on getting an extension of the original Trump tax cuts, as you probably know, by just reading any paper. My message to every business in the world is very simple. Come make your product in America, and we will give you among the lowest taxes of any nation on earth.
And that is how you get real manufacturing inside of the United States of America. You have to work with businesses and incentivize. The reason why SoftBank, Oracle, Nvidia, all of these places are investing hundreds of billions of dollars immediately on day 2, day 3, day 4 inside of the United States of America is because they can expedite the process, lower the amount in taxes, which then creates American jobs and put money into people's pockets. It lowers the price of doing business, which then lowers inflation and then lowers the cost of money, which is the interest and the inflation and what it is that you paying to borrow a dollar, which then incentivizes more people to spend and for more money to go into American pockets. And that's how you create a spending and thriving economy inside of the United States of America. This is why you need business leaders as well as people that are strong to make decisions inside of the White House, because you cannot and will not tax your way to success inside of the United States of America. We see that in Los Angeles. We see it in New York. We see it in Baltimore. We see it in Chicago.
We're bringing them down very substantially, even from the original Trump tax cuts. But if you don't make your product in America, which is your prerogative, then very simply you will have to pay a tariff, differing amounts, but a tariff which will direct hundreds of billions of dollars and even trillions of dollars into our treasury to strengthen our economy and pay down debt. Under the Trump administration, there will be no better place on earth to create jobs, build factories, or grow a company than right here in the good old USA. Already Americans' economic, you can see this, I think, maybe even in your wonderful, wonderful room that you're all gathered together, so many of my friends, but Americans, the economic confidence is soaring like we haven't seen in many, many decades, maybe not at all. Upon my election, it was just announced that small business optimism skyrocketed by 41 points in a single month. That's the highest ever. There's never.
Anybody that is a business owner, that is opportunistic, that is self-motivated, anybody that got some money put up, anybody that has been stacking, anybody that's a part of the Bag Chasers, the Patreon link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. Anybody that has been preparing and putting themselves in a position to be successful. What have I been telling y'all over the last 2, 3, 4 years? Pay off your debt, stack your money. It's easier to climb the mountain and to get that bag when you don't have rocks in your backpack, which is the debt. Debt is the enemy of wealth. Put yourself in a position. Hoard that cash. Put it inside of this stock. Put it inside of this and let it grow. But then you still have access to it, which allows for you to be able to make the big purchases soon. Anybody that's been investing, anybody that's been following my advice when it comes to real estate, you are going to be in the best position possible to get rich over the next 4 years. It is going to be the greatest economy of all time. And if you don't get rich, and I mean filthy rich over the next 3.5 to 4 years, you are doing something really, really wrong. You ain't gonna have to compete with no illegal migrants. You ain't gonna have to be able to put no money out. Money is gonna be cheap. If you can't get rich with the information that we give you over the next 3.5 to 4 years, something is really wrong with you. If you're not disciplined enough to stop spending money on things that don't impress nobody, that don't even care about you, so that you can get rich, listen, Take some time out. The next 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years is dedicated to us. It's us time. It's your time. It's going to be contracts for American workers to be able to fill voids and put out products and get government contracts and be able to create certain businesses and opportunity zones inside of your cities and your states. It is going to be a booming time for people. If you know, you know. If you have the ability to do so, you will. If you're taking advantage of the money and the opportunities, it's only day 5 since Trump took his inauguration oath. It is going to be one of the biggest opportunities of all time. If you can't run up a bag, if you can't get in a position to be able to stack and invest and then run up at least $1 million or $2 million or $3 million or $4 million or $5 million over the next 3 to 4 years, you are a dusty. You not focused. You so busy focusing on identity politics. You're going to be able to get the biggest bags ever in your lifetime. We are in a golden age and you don't even see it yet. We'll get there. We'll get there.
Never been anything like that. SoftBank has announced between a $100 and $200 billion investment in the U.S. economy because of the election result. And just 2 days ago, Oracle, SoftBank, and OpenAI announced a $500 billion investment in AI infrastructure. Other companies likewise have announced billions and billions and billions, adding up to trillions of investment in America, in the United States. And it's also reported today in the papers that Saudi Arabia will be investing at least $600 billion in America. But I'll be asking the Crown Prince, who's a fantastic guy, to round it out to around $1 trillion. I think they'll do that because we've been very good to them. And I'm also going to ask Saudi Arabia and OPEC to bring down the cost of oil. You got to bring it down, which, frankly, I'm surprised they didn't do before the election. That didn't show a lot of love by them not doing it. I was a little surprised by that.
Everything hoops. Listen, we got the message. We see it. Everybody in the chat seen it 4 times. No spam in the chat, all right? You don't have to copy and paste it 8 times. No spam in the chat.
If the price came down, the Russia-Ukraine war would end immediately. Right now, the price is high enough that that war will continue. You got to bring down the oil price. You got to end that war. They should have done it long ago. They're very responsible.
Somebody, for example, says, real question, Mr. High Off Music says, or the real Mr. High Off Music says, well, the real question is who buying TikTok? No, the real question is what companies that you can invest in that will then benefit from this economy that will allow for you to be able to have equity. What stocks are we buying is the questions that y'all should be asking me. When we do Stock Club this weekend on Patreon, the questions we should be asking each other is, how do we then leverage the information that Anton is sharing with us over this weekend and be able to continue the conversation inside of the Discord so that we can really run it up? Everything that we're going to talk about over this weekend is what we're going to benefit from over the next 6 years. We making long-term investments this year that's going to pay off based off of what happens during this administration now. Forget who buying TikTok. I don't care. If it ain't putting money in my pocket, it don't matter to me. I don't even post on platforms where I don't see no money yet. People so busy running up a following on platforms that they ain't even making no money on. I don't live stream on platforms that ain't paying. What you talking about, Willis? We need to be asking questions that put money in. If it ain't money in your pocket, I don't care. When I get off of these live streams, let's say, for example, I go on After Hours or, the Anton Daniels channel and we talking about something happening. Oh, man, tonight's conversation, everybody is running wild. Do you know that I don't talk about tonight's conversation after I get off the internet? The only time I talk about tonight's conversation is when other people want me to talk about tonight's conversation because they want to hear my commentary, which then generates revenue because they want to hear me talk about popular culture on the internet. When I'm off the internet, I can't make no money off of talking about that. So we talking about where we going to get the money and what we planning for when we off the internet. I don't care about anything that's not generating revenue right now. It don't matter to me. I don't care who busting down who. If it ain't about a bag, leave me out of it.
Actually, to a certain extent, for what's taking place. Millions of lives are being lost. With oil prices going down, I'll demand that interest rates drop immediately, and likewise, they should be dropping all over the world. Interest rates should follow us. All over, the progress that you're seeing is happening because of our historic victory in a recent presidential election, one that has become quite well known throughout the world. I think a lot of things are happening to a lot of countries. They say that there's light shining all over the world since the election, and even countries that we aren't particularly friendly with are happy because they understand what there is a future and how great the future will be. Under our leadership, America is back and open for business. And this week, I'm also taking swift action to stop the invasion at our southern border. They allowed people to come in at levels that nobody's ever seen before. It was ridiculous.
What up, Q?
I decided and declared to do, and very, very importantly, a national emergency on our border, immediately halted all entry of illegal border crossers, of which there were many, and began promptly returning the illegal trespassers back to the place from which they came. That action, as you've probably seen, has already started very strongly. I've deployed active duty U.S. military and National Guard troops to the border to assist in repelling the invasion. It was really an invasion. We will not allow our territory to be violated. After 4 long years, the United States is strong and sovereign and a beautiful nation once again. It's a strong, sovereign nation. In addition, I'm pleased to report that America is also a free nation once again. On day one, I signed an executive order to stop all government censorship. No longer will our government label the speech of our own citizens as misinformation or disinformation, which are the favorite words of censors and those who wish to stop the free exchange of ideas and, frankly, progress. We have saved free speech in America, and we've saved it strongly. With another historic executive order this week, I also ended the weaponization of law enforcement against the American people and, frankly, against politicians, and restored the fair, equal, and impartial rule of law. My administration has taken action to abolish all discriminatory diversity, equity, and inclusion nonsense. And these are policies that were absolute nonsense.
Facts.
Throughout the government and the private sector. With the recent yet somewhat unexpected great Supreme Court decision just made, America will once again become a merit-based country.
Facts.
You have to hear that word, merit-based country. And I've made it official, an official policy of the United States, that there are only 2 genders, male and female.
Facts.
And we will have no men participating in women's sports, and transgender operations, which became the rage, will occur very rarely.
If this ain't the greatest time to be inside of the United States of America, I don't know what is. I don't know what is. Anyways, let me go ahead and read some of these super chats. First of all, I want to give an acknowledgement to Marquita Robinson. Thank you for looking out on Cash App. I appreciate you, love. You are absolutely appreciated. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let me read some of these super chats. Chef673 says, Lord bless us with this discernment. Also not to catch boxolitis. If y'all see anybody saying boxolitis across the internet, you know where they got it from. Anton praying for Laphead is insane. Is it? What do y'all pray for? In addition to the regular stuff. Lord, give me the strength to know the difference between the things I can change and the things that I can't change. Is that what y'all be praying for? Slimmy, what do y'all pray for? Lord, bless my boss to value me. Man, I be praying for the things that make me feel great. What? Lord, you say I can ask for anything that I want? Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. All right. Okay. What do y'all pray for? I'm a C student, so I don't know what to ask for outside of the things that I know that make me feel great. Lord, pray for me to change the things that I can't change, and bless me to know the difference between the two. I'm not really sure that I even care. You know what I'm saying? Y'all be praying to know the difference between the two. I don't. I don't pray for that. I don't know nothing about that. I just say, Lord, you see it. You see it, Lord. You see him. Oh, Slimmy, what up, Slimmy? Official Rico Finesse says, put I need Laphead on a t-shirt. Amen. EB Miles Davis, shout out to you. I appreciate you for holding me down. My dog, Mr. Lot in the building, says, when you think about it, Trump talks like a lot of people's favorite rappers and they still hate. They don't hate him. They love him. They just hate the fact that they not really benefiting from it and they picked the wrong side. Rich Steve in the building says, you see Canada trying to cut off energy because of Trump tariff. Okay, let them cut off some energy. Let them cut off energy. That whole economy is going to collapse over there. The Vic Terry podcast says, what's good, AD just became a bag chaser. Shout out to the new Patreon members. We love y'all. Said, preach the happy girl. Y'all want more men in church? Y'all want more men in church? I'm going to teach you how to get them in there. Chris Cunningham says, I told you Fridays be dusty. We just get it in. I'm going to start wearing a blue jacket on Fridays instead of the black jacket. America is the baby daddy that they think that they talk about on TikTok, but won't leave because he's the best choice and undisputedly the only option. Facts, sir. And the only country you can go $1 to $1 billion. That's a fact. Shout out to P. Shank says, good morning, Anton Daniels. Good morning, P. Shank. Chris Cunningham says, let's go. Crypto and the stock market is going to explode. America is back. It been back 4 days ago. Mr. Law says they make plates with food stamps I pay for. So if I buy a plate from Tatisha, I really bought it twice. That's a fact. That's a fact. XRP, Doge, and Ethereum. Tone or Tonio says, should we be buying single stocks or ETFs? Well, it depends on how well-versed you are and what it is that you're looking for. Make sure you tap in the stock club. I'm going to go over the 8 things that you look for when you're looking to invest in a company this weekend. Zarin Thomas says, hey, Anton, are you still doing coaching? I did one with you before, texted you yesterday. Don't know if you still have the same number. Email me, AntonDaniels413@gmail.com. I'm going to let you guys know when I start doing coaching sessions again. The fact that Trump is back in office and working this fast doesn't even seem real, but I'm here for it. That's because we've been seeing politicians in office and not real people that run it and drain in the swamp. Deion Hendricks says, got my Fidelity ready. Waiting for Stock Club this Saturday. I like that. Coach Chase says, Uncle Anton, I think you could do a raffle every once in a while for a bag chaser t-shirt. Just an idea. No, I don't do raffles. I just give it out. You know what I'm saying? Manasoni County Unsolved Crime Channel says Trump is the best first black president ever. Y'all crazy. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Let's pivot for a minute because illegals are thanking Biden and Obama and saying that they hate Trump. Make sure y'all hit a like. Let's rock out, y'all. Let's get it.
Well, President Trump's illegal immigration crackdown is off to a fast start. Fox News has learned that in a 33-hour period between Tuesday morning and Wednesday night,
reading super chat
ICE
shortly.
Agents arrested over 460 migrants, many with long criminal histories. But these operations aren't just limited to Boston. They're taking place all over the country. Bill Malugin is getting an exclusive look at this massive, important operation in the sanctuary city of Boston. Live now to Bill.
Well, Emily, we've heard officials here in Boston and in Massachusetts say repeatedly they are not going to cooperate with ICE or mass deportation efforts by the Trump administration. And ICE says, well, that's perfectly fine. You don't have to cooperate with us. We're still going to go into your city and we're going to do the job. And we were with ICE Boston yesterday for about 10 hours as we got to watch them firsthand carry out immigration enforcement. Take a look.
Good morning, everyone.
It's a frigid 5 degrees in the pre-dawn hours just outside of Boston, where this team of elite ICE officers is briefing on their targets for the day.
We're going to be targeting some extremely violent offenders today.
Within moments, the officers are on the move, with eyes on their first target.
Looks like we got movement, target vehicle coming out.
We back yet? I apologize about that. We back now. Let's get to it.
And this Dominican illegal alien charged with assault with a deadly weapon and heroin trafficking. Officers also arrested this Guatemalan MS-13 gang member facing gun charges. ICE says he was released from local custody just the day before. Their detainer request was ignored because of sanctuary policies. And in a sign of shifting priorities with the new Trump administration, this man, who was in the same apartment as the target, was also arrested after ICE determined he's also in the U.S. illegally. This is what ICE calls collateral.
So you guys got your main target just now, but you got somebody else. What just happened?
So our main target was released by a sanctuary jurisdiction, not honoring a detainer. That person was released back into the community, and when we went to go find him, he's with somebody else who was previously removed from the United States. So he's going to go today too.
And that is exactly what border czar Tom Homan has warned would happen.
When we find the bad guy, he's probably with others that are in the United States illegally. They may not be a criminal priority, but we're not walking away from them.
ICE Boston says they will continue to go into sanctuary jurisdictions and do their job.
It's wild for an illegal migrant to be in this country after they've committed over 17 different crimes. Listen to what they said about this guy.
Very violent threats to our community.
I'm not going back to Haiti.
One of those threats is this illegal alien from Haiti. ICE says he's a gang member with 17 criminal convictions in recent years.
17 criminal convictions. That's not even the amount of crimes that he's probably committed. 17 criminal convictions. Not even the amount of crimes that he probably committed. Those were just the things he was convicted for and that he got caught for. And guess what they was doing over in Boston? Releasing them right back over into the streets. That's just in Boston. Guess how many of these people really operating in Chicago, in Los Angeles, in Yo City, in Florida, in Texas, in Memphis, in Ohio, Michigan, Indiana, Arizona. That's 17 criminal convictions. And he said, hey, I ain't going nowhere. And not only am I not going nowhere, thank you, Biden. Thank you, Obama. And F you, Trump, for even coming over here and disrupting what I got going on in the first place. I guarantee you it's some assaults in there. It's some drug convictions in there. It's some distribution charges in there. It's a whole lot of stuff in there. Probably domestic violence in there. He probably got a couple kids, a couple anchor babies running around inside of the United States of America. I guarantee you that this is the American dream for him. He out here running around with no control, and I guarantee you he probably got a couple baby mamas out here in these streets too. I promise you. I would be willing to bet that he got a couple baby mamas in here on TikTok talking about it ain't no good men here in the United States of America because they not from here. He not from here. He got the American hairstyle. He got the criminal convictions. He right up your alley, right up your dusty alley. And y'all are the ones that's voting for this fool to stay here inside of the United States of America. When we gonna grow up? How old are y'all? How old are you? Why do you like dealing with dusty guys? And why do your standards raise after you have their children? Don't worry about it. We're going to talk about it on After Hours. And then got the nerve to say F you to the president. He don't even respect what's going on inside of the United States of America. I'll do you one better. I'll do you one better. I used to know a guy. Nah, I'm gonna leave that one out there. I'm going to leave that one alone. I'm going to leave that one alone because I know he might be watching. I don't want him to get offended, and we already prayed against sensitivity. So God is telling me, let him breathe. Let him breathe. I'm going to leave it alone.
Trump, you feel me? Yo, Biden forever, bro. Thank Obama forever.
With the new Trump administration,
and Tom Homan
this man, who was in the same apartment as the target, was also what they will continue to go into sanctuary jurisdictions and do their job.
Today was a good day. Today we took several significant public safety threats out of our communities. Unfortunately, a lot were released by sanctuary policies, but we're here to tell the Commonwealth and the rest of the country that we're going to find them whether they're released or not.
And guys, a quick note on some of the blurring we did in that story. We decided to hide the faces of the ICE officers, obviously, because a lot of them work undercover. We also blurred some of the faces of the suspects if their cases are still pending, if they've been arrested but haven't been convicted.
You gotta
yet.
go,
We
big
also
dog.
learned after we were done filming that ICE picked up another target on the other side of the city. This was a previously deported Honduran illegal alien who was arrested locally and is facing charges for raping a woman while holding a gun in her mouth, guys. Those are the kind of targets.
Raping a woman while having a gun in her mouth. Do y'all liberals realize that y'all voted for some of the worst people to stay here in the name of reproductive rights? Y'all were voting for people. The news was showing y'all, and TikTok is showing y'all people that's crying. I was in line on the CB1 app, and I deserve to be inside of the United States of America. They ain't show you the one that had the gun in the lady's mouth talking about, give it to me. Give me that sweet, that funky stuff. They ain't show you that one, did they? No regard for the law, no nothing. Just doing what they want to do, just taking your goods. You can't even walk down the street.
ICE is picking up out here. We'll send it back to you.
Bill Malugin, thank you. Kaylee, an absolutely frightening collection of individuals. Took 33 hours to get 461 out of the way. Amazing what a little bit of leadership, a little bit of gumption, and the mandate from the American people can do.
And Emily, we were sitting there watching this, and you said 18 convictions for that Haitian individual. I mean, we were stunned to hear him say, bleep Trump, thank you, Biden, thank you, Obama, Biden forever, bro. Pay attention to what he is saying. That Biden and Obama enabled someone with 18 criminal convictions to sit in our country without any sort of accountability. There's a lot of people they need to add to that list. Mr. Haitian migrant, criminal who's no longer going to be here. Add Michelle Wu, the mayor of Boston. Add Brandon Johnson, the mayor of Chicago. Add Gavin Newsom, the governor of California. Democrats have enabled this. And what a smart move from this administration to put these images out there within 48 hours. Because I can tell you this, the media is trying to focus on crying immigrants whose CBP apps were canceled, their appointments were canceled. They're trying to find the collateral migrants who are swept up. Tom Homan said that would happen because Democrats are not being compliant. They're trying to find those stories. And the Trump administration says, here are the criminals that are going to make the next Laken Riley happen in this country. This is what we're doing, protecting women, girls, American citizens.
And as Kaylee talks about the Laken Riley Act, Tom Homan warns these individuals, you will be arrested for these collateral individuals. You will be arrested for resisting this.
Yeah, you know, we do need to take a good look at the first law they broke, though.
Coming over into
Because
this country
that is
illegally.
really the problem.
Coming over into
They came into this country illegally. And the last administration wanted to legalize their illegal behavior and just turn them into our neighbors. And that's how these people have gotten to the point where, well, can we vote too? Eric Adams, don't forget what he said when he was a candidate before he decided he might
That's
need
a
Trump.
fact. Somebody said, Time Dog, who is Michelle Wu? Seems to be under the radar. I believe that's the mayor of Boston. Somebody else says, what did they say? Hold on. Nope. I'm looking for it. Dang, I miss it. Oh, well.
Clean up this mess that he and the governor of New York have put on the citizens here in the state with illegal immigration. He said, oh, I'll see if you can vote, even if you're not here legally. So
somebody said we got to give Obama credit. He would have deported him. Man, Obama probably over there hanging out with Jennifer Aniston, trying to get that ex-Brad Pitt box. You know what I'm saying? Obama was probably the one that was running the White House over the last 4 years in the first place, because it couldn't have been Biden. Impossible that it was Biden. Obama is really probably the puppet master. He's probably, Obama just had a 12-year term probably. He probably just had a 12-year term, and now he taking some time off, getting that ex-Brad Pitt box over there with Jennifer Aniston and chilling out. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me Obama ain't probably getting, yeah, I'm getting this. Hey, Jennifer, what's going on, Jen? Michelle? Oh, don't worry about Michelle. She'll be fine. You know, she's over in Hawaii, taking care of the girls, and she's trying to figure out what she wants to do next. Don't worry about it. I'm top dog. Jennifer? Hey, Jen. Can I call you Jen? Come here. Come lay your head in my lap. Obama probably chilling. He probably slow motion. Obama, man, let me tell you something about Big O. Big O probably got more box than everybody in this chat combined. Big O probably got more box than everybody in this chat combined. Y'all just don't know about it. We sitting here talking about Obama. Obama is living his best life and building his presidential library at the same time and getting richer. Michelle? I'm telling you.
Can we all just agree that when you break our law of sovereignty at the border, it counts, it matters, and they are going after the most violent among them and the criminals. And if they sweep up some, as you said, Kaylee, I believe, look, they're not playing ball with ICE, but they're also sweeping up people because those people are with the illegal guys who are committing the violent crimes because they're here illegally too. I can't say that enough. And does that mean that everybody gets pushed out? What it ought to mean is everybody at least gets vetted.
Trace, I want to talk to you about something specific having to do with California.
I'm going on tour.
So we know that ICE issued over 420 detainers, which means that they demand to be notified when a national is released from custody. These ones that they're requesting are in custody for things like homicide, battery, rape, kidnapping, and the like. But they're in the city of San Jose, for example, when Miss Bambi Larson was murdered.
If Obama decides to grow a beard, you know he out here living his best life. If Obama, let me tell you something. Obama walked into the inauguration and got booed and didn't care. He was still walking the way that he was walking. Listen, we probably gonna see Obama on tonight's conversation. Dr. Cheyenne Bryant? Hey, how you doing? Hey, shout out to Big O. If I see Obama with a beard, if Obama pop up with a beard, he different. He definitely getting divorced. Or he may be just separated and he just gonna keep it on paper. If we see Obama, if Big O, no, call me Big O. If Big O pop up with a beard, we got a problem out here in these streets. Did y'all not hit a like for the algorithm yet for the greatest morning show on earth? Y'all still out here messing around and playing games? Don't worry about it. We gonna get there. Make sure you hit a like for the algorithm if it's your first time here. And if it's more than one time, then you should already be subscribed, all right? Let me go ahead and turn up. Turn up with these super chats. Don't know why he thanked Obama when he was worser than Trump. Forsaken Archives. You can't say worser, not worser. We're going to work on that, though. All right? Zarin Thomas says, hey, Anton, are you still doing coaching? I did one with you before. Texted you. Okay, yeah, I already got that one before. All right, I watched that one. Just want to make sure that I'm reading them because I had a little bit of a connection problem. FBA should thank Trump for deporting illegals. Jones FX says, I got 5 on the internet bill. We got construction outside, and so they doing some upgrades. Correction, Obama deported more than Trump. Yeah, but he different now. He different. He walking different. He talking different. He moving different. Why wasn't the Haitian brother face not blurred? Because he a criminal and we need to get rid of him. Black Cartwright says, I said 2 for 25. Whiskey Pierre Luis in the building says, Anton, pray for what you want and need. Christ is amazing. Ain't he? Ain't he? He gave you the cheat code by just saying the Lord's Prayer after every prayer. Everything God wants you to say is there. Also think, nope, that's not true. That's not true. If it was everything, then he wouldn't have said, ask for what we want. That's not everything. Listen, you keep praying the Lord's Prayer and just leaving it at that. I'm going to pray for everything that I want. And then I'm also going to pray for the wisdom for ask for more stuff that actually benefits us. You know what I'm saying? Lord, no. So so you saying that the Lord's Prayer, let's assume that you're right. Are you telling me that the Lord's Prayer covers the excessive I ain't even gonna say it. Chef 673 says, is it me or does criminals hang out in the same spot? And when they kick in the door to arrest them, they find more, I call it trap house raids. Yeah. I'm biasly raw in the building says Trump is the second black president. We're not going to ignore President Laphead. That was getting his mic blessed on the clock with his wife next door. Roosevelt Burnside says, new member to the Patreon, long time daily viewer. Where should I start on the Patreon? Ready to run it up just at the top and work your way down and enjoying all of the live streams and all of the new videos that we drop. It's so much game in there. So much game. Zach in the building says, sad part is the only consequences they get for their crimes is getting put out of the country for no free. Oh, they don't want to go back to their country because then they got to face barbecue over there in Haiti. Obama is watching your show right now, bro. I bet you he is. I know he is. What up, O? Tell Jen I said, what up? Your Obama impersonation is on point. Chef 673 says, in the words of Vanilla Ice, baby. Courtney Smith in the building says, if the rumors about Obama and Jennifer are true, then that probably is the blackest thing he's done since being famous. Carlos Haynes says, native Bostonian here, love your content, but Michelle Wool and Maura Healy need to go ASAP. Well, it's up to y'all to get them up out of there. Big O, M-Pop, impersonation. If he brought up with a beard, maybe we can trust him. Not Big Mike, though. Y'all crazy. Obama is definitely doing a Warren Buffett strategy. Buffett stayed married on paper and separated 30 years ago and had a new chick at the crib. Did he? Did Warren Buffett had a new chick at the crib? That's interesting. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. And let's get into the next part of the show. Tom Homan, he was talking to Chris Cuomo and he invited him over for some raids. Let's check that out. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm. Let's look at this for 10 minutes and let's move on.
What is that looking like in real time? Let's discuss with the White House border czar, Tom Homan. Congratulations on beginning the actual work. And
before we get into Tom Homan's commentary, let me ask y'all a question. Tom Homan did more as the border czar than Kamala Harris did in her entire 4 years in this administration, this past administration. Can y'all just really put it in perspective that Kamala Harris was actually the border czar? Kamala Harris was the border czar, y'all. Is that not crazy to think about that Kamala Harris had the exact same job as Tom Homan, who served under 7 administrations, except for the Biden administration? It's just such a wild thing to comprehend and take into consideration. That Kamala Harris had the same job. Talk about diversity. This is why Trump got rid of diversity, equity, and inclusion. This is why why we cannot have diversity, equity, and inclusion, because it's a lot of people that's in jobs that they don't qualify for, which is one of the reasons why America is in shambles right now. Tom Homan is the guy that was qualified to be the border czar. Kamala Harris got the job just by default. And look what happened to our borders. If that is not the profile of a diversity, equity, and inclusion hire, I don't know what. Could you imagine Kamala Harris getting tough on borders the way that Tom Homan is? Was never qualified for the job a day in her life. Should have never stepped foot inside of the White House. Should have never stepped foot inside of the White House. Crazy. That's why we need to get rid of diversity, equity, and inclusion.
Thank you for joining me as promised.
Thanks for having me, Chris.
Tom, let's look at it two ways. One group looks at what you're doing and says, yeah.
Somebody said, Cap, the majority of DEI are qualified. Then why do they need DEI to get there? Somebody tell me why DEI needs DEI if DEI is already qualified. Somebody tell me.
This is what ICE always does. His guys rounded up 370 people or so. During the Biden administration, they rounded up 300 something a day. This isn't really that different. How is it different?
Well, look, the arrests are a lot higher than were the Biden administration. And we're out there. We just started this nationwide operation. And right now, in the first couple of days, we're at over 3,000 criminals arrested. And that's a significant impact on public safety. The thing we're doing different from the Biden administration is we're not holding ICE to a lower standard. Under the Mayorkas memorandum, ICE wasn't able to arrest all the public safety threats in the country. Like you said earlier, they had to be convicted of a serious crime. There's nothing in the Immigration and Nationality Act that says you got to be convicted of a crime if you're here illegally to be removed. You can be removed simply for being illegally. So we've told ICE to concentrate out of the gate. As I told you in the last show, our focus is on arresting public safety threats and national security threats. That's exactly what we're doing now.
Let me ask you about that. The concern of the Democrats is you're going to round up dreamers, and you're going to round up people who have done penny ante offenses, who are otherwise contributing here, and that's too harsh.
Well, look, the number of collateral arrests are going to be higher during this operation for one reason, and one reason only, because we're not allowed to arrest the criminal alien inside of a jail in sanctuary cities like New York and Chicago and L.A. and Portland, and the majors, the target-rich environments where a lot of illegal aliens domicile. They're not letting us in the county jail because of sanctuary laws. If we could arrest the bad guy in the safety and security of a jail, which is safer for the officers, safer for the aliens, safer for the community, then there'd be a lot less of those type, like you just said, low-level offenders. There'd be a lot less of them arrested. But when you force us in the community, we're going to find that guy sooner or later. It takes more time and it's less efficient than getting him in a county jail. But when we find him, he's most likely being with others. And if they're in the United States illegally, they're going to be arrested too, because we're not going to do what the Biden administration said. We're not going to say ICE can't, because the Biden administration, here's your instructions to ICE. Being in the country illegally on his own is not enough for you to effect an arrest. Ignore the law, ignore the oath you took. You need to have a serious crime. There's nothing in the law that says it, so they're going to force us in neighborhoods, and we're not going to tell ICE to turn a blind eye to an illegal alien. They're going to come too. So the sanctuary city is going to get exactly what they don't want. More agents in the neighborhoods and more collateral arrests while we're doing this criminal operation.
And they already started doing it. Ain't that crazy? Listen, you don't want them there. You don't want them there. And so what you're going to do is have more come there, because the less that you work with them, the more that they're going to invade your city and take people out of there that's not supposed to be there in the first place. They was only looking for, initially, the most egregious of these criminals that's already been convicted and been arrested. But you said that you wasn't going to participate, and so now we got to arrest everybody. Tell me how that makes sense. I dropped the link in the chat for all of these DEI qualifiers. I don't know why y'all not jumping up here. You don't even have to be on camera. I just want you to help me to understand it. I'm looking to learn today why DEI candidates, and I'm open. I don't usually do this on the Millionaire Morning Show anymore. I don't do it on any platform anymore. I want somebody to tell me how DEI candidates are qualified for the positions that they get.
Why can't the president, let alone the federal government, has such sweeping, if not complete, or as they say in the law, plenary authority when it comes to immigration? Why are states and municipalities able to keep federal agents out in so-called sanctuary cities?
Well, look, they'll be taking the court real soon. They've already been warned that federal law overrides any local jurisdiction law. So this is going to be played out in the courts because, you know, they got to understand. I said, I don't know if I said it in your last show or not. I'm amazed every day when I wake up that there's an elected mayor or elected governor or elected city councilman that doesn't want public safety threats removed from their community. Facts. They should be working hand in hand with them. Like when I had my discussions with Mayor Adams in New York, he made it clear, you know, he'll help me with the criminals, but he doesn't want to be an immigration officer. I don't want to be an immigration officer. I want to be a cop working with cops and help protect this community. When it comes to immigration enforcement and the non-criminals, leave that up to me. That's my job and that's ICE's job. But public servants.
I don't see nobody calling in right now. Ain't that crazy? It's over 4,000 people watching this on YouTube alone. And I don't see nobody calling in to help me to understand how diversity, equity, and inclusion candidates are already qualified for the positions that they have. Ain't that crazy? It's crazy. I'm going to wait a little bit longer, and then I'm going to close it up because I already made it available to y'all. I gave y'all some time to get y'all arguments together. You should already have it together. You should already been calling in and helping me to understand and going off on me and saying, Anton, you're wrong. This is why diversity, equity, especially the women. I'm giving priority to the women because I know that y'all was mad about me talking about y'all hair yesterday. So I'm giving priority to the women to help me to understand how DEI makes sense.
People elected by the people, I mean, politicians elected by the people, their number one responsibility is protection of the communities. So I just don't understand, why not let us in tax-funded jail to arrest the bad guy that you already cited and lock him in a jail cell for obvious reasons?
The link
when you're done with them, give them to us. Rather than release them back into community, because where's he going to reoffend? In the very community he lives, the immigrant community. So it puts the immigrant community at greater risk of crime. And I swear to you, if anybody went to an immigrant community and had a town hall and asked them a simple question, would you rather have ICE operating in your community or the jail? They'd all say jail because immigrant communities, even though they're here illegally, after they get here, they're God-fearing family people. They don't want a predator in their neighborhoods either. So let's work together and get the criminals in the safety and security of the jail.
Why you saying the link ain't working?
I don't know. It wasn't working.
Okay, so tell me why DEI candidates are already qualified.
Well, they're already qualified because they meet all the qualifications for the job that they're hired for. You don't just hire somebody just because they're a certain race or a certain color. You hire them because they were in the pool of qualified candidates, and they will significantly influence and help the business in which they're hired for.
How are they significantly influencing and helping the businesses?
Well, one of the things you need in order to properly, in order to increase innovation is all different perspectives, right? So now DEI isn't just about hiring somebody from a racial or a gender perspective. It's also about hiring people from different regions, different areas in which you wouldn't normally search. For example, let's say I hired only from a school within a certain region, right? All right. Those schools typically have a certain process or a certain thought process, right, that goes into that they train their students in. If you say part of DEI practices will be, all right, let's go to a different type of career fair. For example.
So let's go to HBCU.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
And they typically find good talent at those HBCUs. And it's represented, you can see that in the numbers because only 9% of Black students go to college students go to HBCUs, but they represent the vast majority of professionals in many different areas in different industries.
Slow down. All right. Go ahead.
Hurry up because I got like a meeting in a few minutes. But when you do DEI properly, it's not about saying, oh, we just need a Black person, so we're just going to hire a Black person. What it's saying is, let's look at other areas, right? And let's see if we can find qualified candidates in other areas rather than just the traditional pools.
Why wouldn't I want the best person for the job? Why do I need somebody from a different area just because they went to a Black school?
No,
how can you sell me on that Black school actually makes you a better candidate and somebody else is more qualified for the job?
It doesn't say that. What it's saying is we're going to explore those other schools so we can widen the pool, so we can make sure that we are getting the best candidate. Because what you're missing out on is you're saying that the traditional pool in which we're looking at, right, has the best candidates.
That's not what DEI is. DEI is a man. No, it's not. It's not. It's not. DEI is a mandate that says that you have to hire a certain amount of people to be a part. Yes, it is. I am one of the hiring managers. Wait. No, you're not. I know what you do for a living.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do. I coach you.
I'm a hiring manager.
No, you're not. You're not a hiring manager. I know what you do for a living.
Okay. Sure. I didn't just hire people. I didn't just hire people last month. Okay, cool. All right.
And so what DEI does is, and it's not just in private organizations, especially in public organizations like universities, federal government, so on and so forth. What it is it's a mandate for you to fill a certain amount of positions with people. And it's not just in hiring organizations. Hold on. You got 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. I'll let you talk for a long time. It's not only for that. It's not only hiring practices. It's also in the admissions processes for colleges that I worked for, because I worked for the University of Michigan. And what happens is qualified students don't get the opportunity, such as Asian students, is one of the things that they were complaining about, that were more than qualified to get into the university, but they had only a certain amount of people that they could let in the admissions process, because it was a very, very prominent school. And so what they did was they denied some people that would have completed their 4-year degree and paying more, because they were out of state tuition. As a matter of fact, they were out of the country's tuition in some of these instances, in order to get certain people in there that wasn't even qualified, just because they met certain criteria in their background. DEI does not just extend only into the hiring processes. It goes into the admissions processes. It is true.
No, that's not true, because what you're missing out on is
Jesus Christ.
That's what the popular narrative is. If you actually look into it, and actually, if you actually look into what that case was, it's actually those students that were admitted are actually still qualified.
They are not qualified. They are not. No. You're missing it. No. You're missing it, Aaron. Listen. You're missing it, Aaron. It's not about meeting the minimum requirements to be able to get in. It's, are you the best person for the job? If somebody has better grades, a better background, but they just so happen to be a different color and live a different lifestyle than you, you don't deserve it just because you meet the minimum qualifications to be able to get the job. You should be getting in there. You should be getting in there based off of merit. And so if you can get in there based off of merit, the problem with most people is that they misinterpret diversity, equity, and inclusion for discrimination.
I do it all the time. I'm an engineer, yes, but I do DEI as well. What are you talking about? I'm one of the high. Well, I don't want to say exactly, but I'm one of the higher levels of DEI where I work. So I know this for a fact.
So you a DEI hire is what you're saying?
No, yes, I am.
You're a DEI hire.
Yes, I am. I do that. Yes.
Jesus. No. So they hired you because you were a part of a diversity, equity, and inclusion hire.
No, they hired me because they look at other areas they don't traditionally look at.
No. Let's be very clear. Hold on. Slow down for 1 second. Did you get hired because you went to a certain school and because you were black? But you still met the qualifications for the job.
I absolutely met the qualifications. I exceeded the qualifications.
So you met the qualifications, but did one of the reasons why you get hired is because you were black and you went to a black school?
I did get hired through DEI because I got hired.
I knew it.
I got hired through a fair that I found a company. I didn't know this company.
I knew it.
I wouldn't know this company existed if I did not go to a National Society of Black Engineer conference. But I exceeded the qualifications.
Listen.
I do very well.
Listen, I'm with you. I'm glad. No. Hold on. I got other people. I have other people waiting on the line. I'm glad that you're doing well, and I'm glad that you took advantage of the opportunity that was afforded to you. I think that's dope.
Yes. Now let me ask you this question though, right? Because you're saying that Chinese student or the Asian student who couldn't get admitted was overlooked by people who who had lesser qualifications than them just because they were black, right? What about all the white
I didn't
schools?
say just because they were black. You adding words.
Or just because they were part of the DEI
It
structure,
could be
right?
because they a woman. It could be because they were a black woman. It could be because you meet certain criteria from your neighborhood. It could be a lot of different things. I knew a lot of women. I knew a lot of women.
White men. What about the white? Wait, hold on. Let me answer. What about the white men who also had lesser qualifications than him, right? Who also got accepted, right? So because they don't just accept you just because of grade. They accept you because you could.
So that would mean that you were assuming that white men. That would mean that you're assuming that a white man got in there not because of his merit, but because of what again?
Yeah. It could have been for a number of reasons. Because
You assuming, you making it up as you go, Aaron.
Because you don't know, because none of us were.
You're making it up as you go. You're literally making it up as you go. There is no white man that you can find that will say, yo, Aaron, stop. I got somebody else on the line, bro.
Yes, they will. Yes, they will.
Just because you talk louder doesn't mean that your argument is strong. I got somebody else on the line, Aaron. I gotta go.
You're also missing out on legacy emissions and nepotism. That's also the factor that you're not including.
Nepotism is a completely different conversation versus DEI. But we don't have I have somebody else on the line, Aaron. All right. Let me bring up King. I want to bring up King. What's going on, King?
What's going on, bro? Good morning. I'm not calling to argue on behalf of DEI. I'm calling to argue on behalf of it. I got a brother that suffered from the same issue. He was a hiring
on
manager.
Behalf of DEI?
Oh no, heck no. I think that is horrible, and I can tell you why in about 2 minutes.
Go ahead.
Easily. I had a brother who worked for one of the major cable carriers here in the nation, and he was in charge of retaining talent, recruiting talent, things of that nature. And he was at a high level managing position. What he found is that the people over him would tell him, "Hey, this woman is a good fit for the company. You're gonna have to coach her along and bring her along." And he would say, "Well, here I got these 3 candidates for this job that I found that are good and are way better than her, and I won't have to micromanage them to get them to where they need to be."
Correct.
And he was doing this from one state, and he would be in the Midwest doing this, and they would want him coaching and mentoring people on the East Coast instead of grabbing the talent that he was identifying that he knew he could work with.
I know.
And he said they would eventually end up quitting, or eventually they would work themselves out of a job, and the people who worked for him would end up doing the job for him, or he would end up doing the job for him because they were trying to implement DEI and force it upon him.
I've seen it 1,000 different times. 1,000 different times. I've seen it in the admissions process from women that said that they knew they couldn't qualify for some of these admissions or to get into certain colleges. And a lot of times what will happen is they will struggle and flunk out. And she never was supposed to be there in the first place.
Yep, sounds very familiar. When I was in the military, they implemented the same thing. We went to a 30-day training, came back, and they were like, "Hey, we're putting females in charge of all of the communications and financial sections and all that stuff." We literally came back from jobs that we had to not having a job because they wanted to implement females in combat units. So they did it. They did it in the military too.
And tell me that diversity, equity, and inclusion programs are a good thing, but I know that they blackity black. I know that they
it's not facts. It's not a good thing, especially when you have somebody who this is the point. My bad. I got off track. So it's not a good thing when you come back to a job that you had and you were more than qualified for and overperforming, and in all of the offices that manage the way the company functions or the company runs are all now ran by women just because they're implementing women in the combat units, not because they identify the most qualified people for the job. And anybody who in the chat who's military, they could tell you about it when they implemented it. It was a headache, man.
It's crazy to me. It's absolutely insane to me. I appreciate you, King.
All right, take care, bro.
Diversity, equity, and listen, I don't need your diversity. I need your subordination and I need you to do your job. Absolutely, 100%. If I'm looking for a developer, I don't need your diverse background from where you coming from to help me to understand how it is that I need to be able to hire more. Man, shut your butt up. Code don't need your background information. I need you to be able to qualify based off of your ability to do the job. I'm not interested in even knowing about your background. Can I work with you? Are you a good person to work with? I don't care if you black or you white. If a black person just so happen to be the best person for the job, I want them. And if they're a good cultural fit, meaning that they're easy to work with, I want them. If a white person just so happen to be the best for the job, I want them. I don't care about your sexuality. I don't care about your race. I don't care about your gender. Can we get this project done? Can we complete it? And will we be the best at it? I don't want to make concessions for you. I don't want to listen, we got a culture here, and I'm not making concessions for you. And yes, I am going to discriminate against you depending on what the job is. Anton, what does that mean? You go discriminate against people? I 1,000% will discriminate against people. I'll give you an example. If I'm looking for somebody to help people at the front desk, or I'm looking for somebody, even if I'm if I'm creating a new concept and I've created a new social spot or a restaurant/bar, I want a pretty girl at the front greeting people because it makes it much easier for us to be able to acquire their business. If I'm looking for alignment and a person needs to be able to lift 120 pounds up a ladder, I'm going to prefer a man for that job. I'm going to discriminate against you if you are a 5'2" woman weighing 110 pounds and you can't even lift up your body weight. I don't want you for that job in particular. If I'm hiring people at the oil field, if you just so happen to be a super strong woman, cool, you can be the anomaly, but I'm going to have a preference for men. I want the best person for the job. The minute that they start having diversity, equity, and inclusion inside of the NBA, cut me out. The minute that they start having diversity, equity, and inclusion inside of the NBA, because it's a competitive. Business is competitive. Business is just like sports. You want the biggest lineman, you want the tallest dunker, you want the best person with the best handles that got the best court vision and is coachable. I don't want you just because you Somalian or we ain't got enough Somali. I mean, what? Get out. We want the person that's going to drive butts into the seats, that's marketable and can dunk the basketball. Don't care about your diversity. We need more women and no, we don't. That's the reason why we got messed up stuff and why we got people catching lawsuits on Fox Sports 1 right now. I don't need more people just because you're diverse. We need somebody that's sassy in the company because we got to get their point of view. I didn't ask you what your point of view is. I just asked you to do your job. I didn't ask you who you were sleeping with. That's the reason why the country is messed up in the first place, because we had to get a black woman in the White House. We got to break that glass ceiling. Almost broke our whole country in half. Almost destroyed the whole country because we was determined to get a woman in there because we need diversity. We need a black woman to speak on black issues. No, we don't. No, we don't. We need more of y'all inside of the kitchen so that we can have healthier meals for our men to go out there and take down this world and take over. That's what we need. We don't need more people taking over corporate America. We need more people in home economics. We need more wives. We need more mothers so that our children ain't sassy. Yes, we don't need more latchkey kids. We don't need more daycares so you can have Tom, Dick, and Harry and some man that's pretending to be a woman inside of the daycare raising your kid and telling them and teaching them that the rainbow wasn't from the Bible, but it was from the sassy organizations. Oh, Anton said the uncomfortable part right now. Yes, we need more mothers. We need more mothers. We need more women that know how to cook from scratch and everything ain't out of a goddamn can. It's Friday. It's Friday. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm so old school. I'm sorry. I'm so old school. I'm so traditional. I'm such a throwback dude that I'm on a whole nother movement. I'm on a whole nother wave. I'm not here to tell you what you think you want. Oh, we need more educated women. Why? So we can get some more student loans debt? And then they want to marry just to have the soft life anyway. And then some guy got to take on $100,000 because you wanted to be in African American studies. Women got more degrees, they got more debt, and they got more trash degrees. We need more diversity. I need more women in the workforce. No, I need you to shut up and learn how to cook a lasagna. Do you know how to cook lasagna from scratch? Do you? You need healthy meals? Because all y'all doing is going to work so that you can pay somebody to watch your kids. Your whole salary after taxes go to daycare. Your whole salary, you working against yourself. Your whole salary after daycare that you work after taxes go to daycare. You working for somebody else to raise your children. Let me be quiet. Let me shut up. Stop. Ooh. Ooh. Animalistic behavior says sounding weak can't cook for himself. I can cook better than you. I can clean better than you. I prefer to go out here and get this money because I'm not sassy like you. Because you was raised by your mama. And she taught you to sit down when you pee. I pee on feet inside of the shower. I told y'all that. I believe in peeing on feet when you get inside of the shower. Come on there if you want to. That's why your girl keep asking me for a coaching call. Because you keep saying, I'm a cook for you, baby. You a house husband. You wanted to be Doug. That's why you voted for Kamala Harris. Because you wanted to be Doug Emhoff. You wanted to be the first gentleman in office. You wanted to decorate the flower. You do your flower pots too? You do your flower beds? Is that what you do? You sit down when you pee to make sure that you don't wet up the toilet? I don't do that. I play pranks on my chick. I let her fall in the toilet when she goes to the bathroom. Oh. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. This is the Millionaire Derailment Show. Don't worry about it. We gonna get there. We gonna get there. Your mama kept telling you to wipe from back to front. Wipe your little thing. Did your mama tell you you had a penis when you was growing up? That ain't what my father told me. He said, you got a dick. You know what I'm saying? You got all sisters. That's it. You got all your sisters raised you while your mama was at work. And your daddy was gone busting down another chick. I know how to clean. That don't mean that I'm about to do it. I get up and I just get out the bed and I go into the bathroom and brush my teeth and I let my chick make up the bed for me. How about that? How about that? And she glad to do it. And my chick don't go to work for nobody. She work for me. Are you going to open up a seat at the table again? I think about it. It depends on how many sassy men we got inside of the chat today. She was asleep. Shout out to Chris Cunningham. We appreciate you. Marquita Robinson says, happy Friday, AD. What's up, Marquita? What up, Marquita? A little something for the church building fund. Good sermon. I appreciate you, B. Huey. Aaron L. in the building said with the phone call says DEI is a tremendous help for companies' bottom lines. Look up the data. Companies that do DEI correctly have significantly higher profits and innovation. Wrong. Xavier Williams says, Anton, I can't watch Patreon without having an app open. Watch it on the laptop. Watch you can. You absolutely can. Like, I can't close it out and play through my headphones. Any guidance? I have to figure that out. Send me an email, antondaniels413@gmail.com. Refrigeration Devil says that's why in HVAC we have certifications and tests, not DEI BS. Facts. Airline flights are gonna be more safe now. Facts. Jerry Amari said, I used to see dudes doing women's work on the floor in the plant. It was crazy. Exclusivity needed. We don't need to be inclusive all the time. It's counterproductive to the main goal. Profits. Just do your job and shut up. I like that, Jerry. Brandon Jennifer says government employees have to return February 24th for the Social Security Administration. Good. Pam Roning says, I'm a female civil engineer who cooks everything from scratch, and I love doing it. I like you. I like you, Pam. Manuel AG says, there isn't another show like the Millionaire Morning Show. That's because we not pandering. We just having a good time, and we going to tell the truth while we here. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Let's get to it. So troops is arriving at the border. Let's spend 10 minutes talking about this. Make sure you hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Let's rock.
KTSM and NBC News the first on the scene as 3 large military planes landed at Biggs Army Airfield just before 4 p.m. this afternoon. Fort Bliss confirming to NBC that those planes carrying U.S. troops are part of the deployment announced yesterday by the Pentagon that will be sent to our southern border. This as the department scrambles to put in motion President Donald Trump's executive order demanding an immediate crackdown on illegal immigration. Thank you for choosing KTSM 9 News at 10. I'm Andy Morgan.
And I'm Tirza Ortiz, and for Monica Cortez. The deployment is included in not one but dozens of executive orders that President Trump signed moments after his swearing-in ceremony. KTSM 9 News reporter Diana Castillo has been covering the story all day. She has our top story at 10.
The first batch of U.S. troops sent to secure the southern border have officially landed at Biggs Army Airfield. On Wednesday, the Pentagon announced that about 1,500 troops were being sent out to the border this week. It's the latest effort from the Trump administration to crack down on illegal immigration. The deployment includes 1,000 Army soldiers from a variety of units and 500 Marines. U.S. officials said they expect additional troops to be ordered to deploy in the next few days as defense and homeland security leaders request more support.
American people have been waiting for such a time as this, for our Department of Defense to actually take homeland security seriously. This is a #1 priority of the American people, and the president is already delivering.
It is important to note that when asked about the additional troops during a press conference on Wednesday, El Paso Mayor Renard Johnson said the measure is unnecessary. Now, this is, of course, a developing story, and we will be sure to keep you updated on air and online.
Shout out to our troops. Actually, see, this is why we say thank you for our service. We need to be saying thank you for your service, for the service not only that they're doing for the military, but the service that they're doing inside of the United States of America. We need all our troops here. We need all of our troops here. We don't need no troop serving nobody else except for what happens inside of the United States of America. Can y'all do y'all realize that it's what, day 4, day 5? Day 4, day 5 into the new administration, and we already got troops at the border. The Biden administration was suing Texas to leave their borders open. The Biden administration was suing Texas to leave their borders open. And on day 5 inside of the White House, we already got troops arriving at the border to make sure that ain't nobody coming over here illegally. No more.
New images coming into CNN shedding light on the speed of President Trump implementing his immigration agenda. The White House has just...
Eric said they're going to need more troops for this. Oh, don't worry. They said we're going to have more than 10,000 at the border soon. 1,500 is just the first wave. It's just the first wave, Eric. We're going to get there.
Released these images, migrants lined up.
Y'all, listen. Y'all don't get... this is the images of the migrants that's being deported. You don't get to fly Emirates Air anymore. You don't get Delta. You don't get Alaskan. You don't get American Airlines. You don't get Spirit. You don't get Frontier. You don't get Southwest. You don't get nothing. You get the back of a cargo plane. You lucky we not dropping you off midair like a care package. You lucky we not just throwing a parachute on you and dropping you off midair like a care package. You get cargo treatment where it ain't no air conditioning. You get the temperature that everybody else get. Bundle up, buckle up, buttercup. It's time to go home. It's time to go home. We not stopping at no airports. We dropping everybody off with a parachute. Make sure yours work. Cargo plane time.
Cuffed and led onto a military aircraft. We should note CNN cannot independently confirm the details because our crews were not there on the ground when these images were being captured. CNN White House correspondent Priscilla Alvarez is here to talk about this. Priscilla, what are we learning about these flights? And we should note, we were just showing this a few moments ago, those images were tweeted out or posted by the White House press secretary. So this is coming from the White House.
That's right. This is part of their show of force after the president signed his executive order declaring a national emergency at the U.S. southern border. Now, if we can bring the photos up again, because I do want to point out what's different here. It is the use of military aircraft that marks a difference from the way this was handled before. Now, you see there a line of migrants. They are arrested as they are handcuffed as they are boarding the plane. That part of this is actually quite typical when it comes to immigration and customs enforcement and the way that they would board one of their deportation flights. But again, what is notable in this image is of that military aircraft. Now, I am getting some details from a Homeland Security official who tells me that it was about 75 to 80 migrants from Guatemala, and they were bound for Guatemala. We are now getting updates from an organization on the ground in Guatemala that is putting out stills of these arrivals. So this story is quickly developing. But in addition to that, we also know they were recent border crossers. So they were in Border Patrol custody and they were in the El Paso sector. Now, the Pentagon has said that they were sending this military aircraft to El Paso and to San Diego. So we'll see if more of these flights continue. But Jim, just to broaden this out a little bit, the situation at the U.S. southern border is relatively quiet, far more than it was even over the last several months. So about 1,100 to 1,300 people crossing a day versus the 4,000, 6,000 and up that we were seeing in recent years. So this is an effort to really clamp down on the U.S. southern border, even as border crossings where they are right now are lower than they were in recent years.
Interesting. All right, Priscilla, stay with me. I want to bring in CNN contributor.
We need more dogs, too. German Shepherds, Rottweilers, whatever dogs that we need that can help catch people at the border, that's what we need at the border. We need more animals patrolling the border. We need more horsemen. We need swordsmen. We need troops. We need military. I heard the Trump administration actually gave all agencies, police officers, sheriffs, they gave them the ability to act like ICE and border agents. You see an illegal, somebody that crossed over into this country that's not supposed to be here, you can round them up. Now, we know that all of these blue cities are not going to do this. We know that they're not going to support pit bulls. Yes, we need pit bulls. All of them, huskies, pit bulls, African dogs. Have y'all seen African dogs? African dogs are some of the most efficient hunters on the face of this planet, outside of orcas and whales. African dolphins, African dogs eat you while you alive. If y'all have never seen one of these National Geographic documentaries or go on YouTube and type in African dogs, listen, you'd rather get caught by a pack of lions than by African dogs. We need African dogs at the border. You'd be better off getting into a cage with a Bengal tiger than a pack of African dogs. They don't kill you. They eat you alive. While you're there, they don't mess around. They not waiting. They eat you from your butt first because that's where all of the meat is. That's the truth. I'm telling you. They start off on the butt, in the gut. They don't snap your neck and then leave you dead and then take you into a tree and none of that stuff. They don't do none of that. They don't crush your skull. They just start eating you from the butt first. Y'all ain't never seen African dogs? Y'all want me to show y'all some African dogs? I can show you some African dogs if you want to.
And New York Times journalist Lulu Garcia Navarro. Lulu, good to see you. Your reaction to seeing these photos from the White House?
I'm telling y'all the truth. Y'all laughing. No, lions are more African dogs are the most vicious creatures on the face of the earth. There is no more creature, no land animal is more vicious outside of a woman that is bitter from a divorce than an African dog. That is a fact.
They say that our military planes deployed for these deportations. And I guess one of the things that we should talk about, shouldn't the White House or the administration be giving some kind of
Y'all want me to pull up the
access
African
to independent
dogs?
journalists
I can pull them up.
so we can witness this firsthand as opposed to getting these takeouts from the White House?
I mean, I think press access for this is going to be very important. But I think we also need to really try and get context and understand what is happening and what is different than what we are seeing before. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE, came out with a statement that said that they had arrested 538 people yesterday. And that is about double what we have seen previously. So indeed, we are now seeing stepped up enforcement. There has been some allegations that they are going into private places and not using warrants. That is illegal. So again, is that different? What are we seeing that is actually different? And that's going to be the thing that's going to tell us if this is actually effective, who they're targeting, and where are they targeting people. One of the concerns about this is that they're really going to be targeting people in blue cities and blue states. That is different than what we saw during the first Trump administration, where they were doing raids in North Dakota and red states and rural areas. This seems to be targeted in places that are blue states. So what does that tell us? Does that tell us that this is politically motivated, that they're trying to instill fear in immigrant communities in blue areas as opposed to red areas? You know, all of these things, as we're looking at this enforcement operation, we have to really think about what it means and what is the administration actually trying to achieve.
Yeah, we're going to be talking about what took place in New York.
Got to show you an African dog.
But Lulu, I do want to ask you, the president has ordered the Pentagon to search 1,500 active military troops to the southern border. We're also seeing these new images.
Now, let me preface this part of the show. I'm going to give y'all 10 seconds and tell y'all that if you have a weak stomach, this is normal stuff. YouTube, I look at the hunting strategies of a lot of different animals. If you have a weak stomach, you don't want to look at this part. I'm going to just show it for 2 minutes, and I'm going to show y'all how vicious and how effective African dogs are. I'm going to bring y'all up to speed. These are what African dogs hunt like, okay? This is what they look like. Oh, look at that nice furry animal. He has a white tail. They have spots all over them. They look chill. Look how nice they are. Worse than any pit bull you ever seen in your entire life. Look at them. They look like deer bras. You're right, Frontline. They look like deer bras. They look like it. Look, it's not it's an African dog. This is what they look like, okay? Y'all all say y'all want to go back to the motherland and live in the bush. This is what you got to look forward to. This is how they hunt. Alive. They don't mess around. See the newborn baby right there on the ground? They'll come back for that one. Oh my God. In 20 minutes, that thing is going to be bones. In 20 minutes, those will be bones. They don't mess around. It's a tough world out here. And no, y'all wanted to go back to hunter-gatherer stage, didn't y'all? And then went and picked up the, hey, you see it went and picked up the baby? Hold on, look. They went and picked up the baby right after that. Check it out. They don't mess around. This is what we need at the border. Okay?
Images of military support away from the border. These are from Camp Pendleton in California. These are from New Mexico. Some other images we can show you. And we're now learning that more soldiers are preparing for possible deployment to the border. And so, I mean, Lulu, this is something that, is a bit of a departure from what we've seen in the past, and that this is a very militarized looking deportation operation, mass deportation operation. What do you think?
Maybe the Friday shows need to be pared back to like the Monday through the Thursday shows.
I mean, this is very unusual. This is not the purview of the United States military. They don't have the training for it. But this is what the Trump administration is doing to try and bolster their capacity to deport people, because they haven't gotten more money from Congress for this. They don't have more ICE agents. And so they're trying to pull in other agencies to get involved in this deportation operation. But this is where I think the Trump administration has to be careful, because recent polling shows that there's overwhelming support for deportation of illegal immigrants, immigrants that are here that don't have documentation. There is overwhelming support for deporting immigrants who have.
I'm amazed at the
difference
that y'all don't know the difference between a hyena and a wild dog.
For using the U.S. military. 62% of Americans oppose separating families, something that the administration says that they're going to do. 59% are against using the U.S. military. And so, this is not popular with the American people. So they have to be careful.
Meanwhile, we over here being super sensitive because we in our feelings about female rights. And y'all gonna get used to it. Don't worry about it. You'll get used to it. You'll adjust to it. You'll make sure that life is good. Life is gonna be better. We're gonna drag y'all along. We're gonna remove the criminals from this earth. We're gonna get back to life, and life is gonna be good. But I got something that I want to share with you guys. Before we go over to the next thing, let's go ahead and hit the super chats, and then we'll get over to the next thing, because I got to go and visit Chicago. J.B. Pritzker, who had just been previously fighting with Brandon Johnson, married Brandon Johnson over in Chicago, recently did a press conference. We're going to get to it. Anton, just because Trump returned to office doesn't mean golden showers need to return too. Keep your bladder water stories to yourself. No. We share everything over here at the Millionaire Morning Show. Rules of engagement says, yeah, they lucky to be on a plane. I'd have them in school buses. They still getting comforts on the way out. Now we got to get them over to their countries fast, quick, and in a hurry. Get them folks ready for jump school. I like that. Death Note says, that's a heck of a name. Death Note says, I worked on change detection software to track IED burials in Afghanistan, and the company is contracted to monitor the border. We can even see footsteps from 4 hours ago. That's crazy. LT144K says robots will be the most effective and efficient. Manual AG says only thing on the flight menu is which country they want to eat off next. Where they eat you from again, Anton? From the booty out and the stomach, where all of the meat is. 3-Man Podcast says we need pit bulls as on a hunger strike at the border, put gay alligators at the Rio Grande and make the border great again. 091 Mega says the honey badger is the meanest animal pound for pound. Nope. Wild dogs hunting the pack. Hey, hunting the pack, baby. Jay Thomas says, hey, Anton, just tuning in. Have you covered and clarified the EEOC 1965 signing from Trump, or will you do it later? Send it to me in an email. I haven't seen it. Chef 673 says, no, Nancy Pelosi lookalike. They're hiding and being protected in blue states. This is why blue states and cities are a top priority. Beast LFC says, who let the dogs out? You just traumatize all of the vegans. It's a circle of life, baby. Whiskey Pierre Louis says, Anton, business is solving problems, and there's lots of problems in America using the soldiers. Genius. They get paid from home solving our problems. Grayway says, rest in peace, Bambi. Donnie Campbell is in the building, says, they need to drop off the illegal immigrants on a different continent from their home country. Let them find their own way back. Free Thinker 513 says, we don't need DEI. People need to work on their networking skills and learn how to leverage mentors and advocates inside and outside of work. That's how you create opportunities. Dave P says, AD Bag Chaser here. Wanted to get the info on how to link up and promote my Christian t-shirts on your platform. Willing to pay and send free merch. Tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description. The link to the Discord is in the description of any of the most recent videos inside of the Patreon. And also my address. Let me also give you a tip, Dave P. Don't label it Christian merch. The same way that I tell y'all to stop labeling yourselves black-owned companies, stop limiting your base for what you want to sell. Create a great product. You can be a Christian. Create a great product that allows for you to market to anybody and run your sales up. Chick-fil-A is ran by traditional conservative family that believe in regular everyday values and is a Christian family. Chick-fil-A sells chicken to everybody. They don't say Christian Chick-fil-A. They say that we are Chick-fil-A. Stop limiting yourself. You can be whatever you want to be, but let the product sell itself. Don't limit your customer base by saying, I am a Christian this, I am a black this, I am a woman to own this, I am a man this. Just create a great product and sell it. Okay? Create a great product and sell it. Market it like crazy and sell it. Stop limiting yourself by saying you are a this, that. I'm a conservative, but I want Democrats, liberals, conservatives, independents, everybody to buy my product. I'm not going to say I'm a black male-owned company. I'm a black male-owned Christian company. The more that you throw a label on it, the tighter knit you remove yourself from the majority of your customer base. All right? Okay? That's just a little tip for y'all. Let's get over to Chicago. Brandon Johnson and J.B. Pritzker recently held a press conference saying that they're not going to work with the Trump administration to help them get rid of the illegal criminal migrants inside of their state and their city.
Happy to take any questions from members of the media. We got Chia in front here.
Governor, and I'm hoping Mayor Johnson and Emanuel can follow up. Mayor Johnson, Emanuel, and the governor, I'm wondering if you can talk about Donald Trump's attempts to dismantle DEI, given this setting that we're in, and what kind of effect, trickle-down effect, it might have in state government or in the corporate world in Illinois.
Well, DEI is, this idea of, a corporate term that occurs in, the back rooms of big corporations, Wall Street and otherwise. The reality is that what they're trying to tear down is something much broader, and that's civil rights in the United States. That's what they're attacking. And the reality is, and I thought that former Mayor Emanuel said it correctly, the examples of the success of DEI are all around us in the city of Chicago, that we need to raise up businesses in communities that have been left out and left behind. There are examples all across the state of Illinois. Investments that need to be made in communities that are, frankly, underrepresented, underserved, and struggle. And yet we've been succeeding in Illinois, lifting up those businesses. But
lies, all lies. Businesses are leaving the state. Businesses are leaving Chicago. They are running out their base. And it's one of the reasons why they want an immigrant community in order to shore up the numbers so that they can then get all of the grants, get all of the funding, get whatever it is. Like, for example, I'll give y'all an example of how they're trying to finesse y'all and why they're trying to prop up the state and prop up the city, because they've been leaving mass exodus inside of these blue cities. And so what happens is they use the immigrant community. That's why they want them in y'all schools. You say, well, I don't understand why they got to go in our schools and why we got to pay taxes for them. Because that's how they get their money from the federal government. That's how they get their money from the state. On count day, for example, you get so much per pupil, which allows for you to fund the school and all of its activities and everything like that. And so they're trying to prop up their numbers and use the immigrant community to do so instead of being able to recruit a great population by having practical, common sense policies that allow for businesses and residents to thrive. Removing DEI is not an attack on civil rights. Civil rights was necessary at a time where black people were being discriminated against. It's just like birthright citizenship. Birthright citizenship was supposed to be for people that didn't ask to be here, but was basically a descendant of slaves. Now, you're talking to a person that's not even a blackity black, but I got to give you the history. That's what it was for. The civil rights movement were for people, black people in particular, that came over into this country that was coming out of segregation and was being discriminated against, and they didn't have the same opportunities at that time. This is 2025. It's a different time. And on top of it, they've expanded civil rights to include different things that's not relevant to it. So now they've segmented it off to women, which then was able to include women of other colors. That's why they say people of color. They don't say African Americans. They don't say black people. They say people of color. You can be Indian, you can be Asian, you can be a white woman that's mixed with a black woman. You could be anything that you want to be. And then it was expanded to include people that were of the LGBTQ community, which that should not even be included. Your personal lifestyle should not be included in whatever it is that you're getting hired for or your opportunities. But we use that and we've expanded it in order to hijack the civil rights movement. The civil rights movement was already hijacked a long time ago. Affirmative action was already hijacked a long time ago. So if black people in particular are complaining about it, you're complaining about something that you don't even benefit from because it doesn't go to you. I don't see black men getting anything from the civil rights movement or affirmative action today. The movement was hijacked and taken advantage of, which is one of the reasons why feminism became so prominent inside of the United States of America. So when you sit there and you complain and you say, oh, they taking it away from us, first tell me how you benefited from it. You, personally. You know what you got? An attachment to the federal government and an incentivization for you to break up your home. And a breaking up of the family, which you then normalize, and now we got everybody saying, congratulations, I'm a single mother. You don't benefit from these legacy things that you don't even understand how they came into prominence in the first place. It's not for you. It's not even for you. It actually works against you. You supporting it actually hurts you, and you don't realize it. Why would J.B. Pritzker, a white, big billionaire as far as what his family is concerned, give a piss about what you think in civil rights? You are advocating against your own demise. Tell me, what has the NAACP done for you lately? Removing DEI actually helps you, and you don't realize it. A merit-based system. Okay, let me break it down from a C student's perspective so everybody understands it. What is the most common phrase that you hear from black people as far as their lack of opportunities in spaces when they're actually qualified? Not for the people that's running in the Victim Olympics, for the people that's qualified. I had to work twice as hard in order to get the opportunities. I had to work twice as hard as the person that was next to me in order to get the opportunities that they had. Why do you think people say that? If it's a merit-based system, how would it not benefit you from working twice as hard? Because that means that you get more opportunities, not because of, but because you're not being prevented from. The opportunities is not limited to you from the person that's next to you just because they're white. The opportunities is limited from you from the person next to you because they keep saying black girls that cold. Because they're looking for a black woman that codes. And so if you get in there and she get in there, who do you think is going to get the position? Because if she better than you, then she should just beat you, right? She should be able to interview better than you, right? Right? I've personally found, can we be honest? Because see, I don't have to worry about what nobody think. Don't nobody pay me. I pay myself. I've personally found, and I've talked to a lot of them. I've went to these tech conferences. I've interacted with them. I've hired them. That most black women, and when I say most, I'm talking about 98% of all black women that I've seen, are not sufficient when it comes to their ability to be able to build an application or in their programming languages. They lack the skill set to be able to survive amongst their peers. I found that most women are like that. Y'all don't want to hear the truth. Y'all don't want to hear the truth. Y'all don't want to hear the truth. I have found that women in tech usually take other positions not related to actually being developers because they are not good enough for the positions. They then become everything else. Let me get back to the video. Y'all don't want to hear the truth. Y'all want me to sugarcoat it. Y'all want me to make y'all feel better. Don't worry about it. We'll get there.
But what the federal government is trying to do is attack what we've accomplished in Illinois and all across the United States. And we won't let them. I am not going to let them. And I'm unafraid to stand up for equity, which is what we're here celebrating today. Look at the success of the Will Group. Look at the success that's happening on the west side of Chicago.
Dean, you know it's the truth, Dean Murray. You know it.
Sorry, I saw Marianne. Yeah.
And it doesn't mean that you guys are not great at other things. You just may not be as great or even as interested in it because you wouldn't have to incentivize them to do it if they was already going to do it. You wouldn't have to do it. You wouldn't have to incentivize them to do it. Very rarely do I see a woman that is a software engineer that is great at what she does. And I'm not saying that they don't exist. I'm saying that very rarely do I see them. I don't see them in the classrooms. I don't see them in the interviews. I don't even see them going for those positions. They be in HR, chief diversity officer, some kind of program manager, middle manager, product owner, sales chief. They doing something else, but they not trying to be there in front of no computer learning Java, JavaScript, C#, Python. They not doing that. They not even interested in. They don't want to talk about that. They trying to be a marketing officer. Real talk. I'm telling you the truth. They like zipping and zapping and jibbing and jabbing and dressing good. Not trying to sit there with you talking about code, syntax language, hypertext markup language. They're not trying to sit there talking to you about CSS. Give me one woman in here right now that says that she want to talk about that with me. I'm telling you the truth. One woman in the chat. I'm going to look in the chat while I'm playing this. I'm looking for you. Somebody in the chat, a woman that is actually a developer, a software engineer, talk to me. Let me know who you are.
I don't have an update for you. The federal government has not communicated with the state of Illinois. That is an indication to all of you that it's all about chaos and confusion. It is not about accomplishing something. And I've said many times, violent criminals who are undocumented in this country should be deported. There is a federal law that allows that deportation.
Give me a call. Give me a call, Christina. I want to talk to you. Christina says, hold on, let me find you. Christina, where you at, baby? Christina Beckford says she's a software engineer. Christina, you can call in. You ain't got to be on camera, none of that junk. Give me a call. I want to talk to you real quick. Let's talk.
But when we're talking about undocumented people who have been living law-abiding lives and raising families in the United States, we need comprehensive immigration reform. We need to give them an opportunity to stay in this country legally. That's clearly not something that Donald Trump believes in. And I will stand up for residents of the state of Illinois who are abiding by the law, who are holding down jobs, who are paying taxes. I mean, we should stand up for them. That is the right thing to do. But he's trying to tear things down.
Governor, what's the response to people who might say that Democrats are the one sowing chaos, confusion?
What's up, Chris?
Hi, Anton. I'm a big fan of your show. Well, friend, right? So, friend. Nice to meet you.
You're a friend of the show. You're a friend of the show. How you feel, Chris?
I'm feeling fantastic. About to go outside, walk my dog real quick. Take a little break from my coding session. What's up?
How long have you been a developer?
I've been a developer since 2018.
So
I was in the Army and I transitioned over.
You got a little bit of skin in the game. Okay. So let me ask you a question, Christina.
Sure.
How did you get into it? And I'm not gonna use you as an example, but I'm gonna ask you a question after this that substantiates my argument. How did you get into it?
Actually, so I learned how to code back when I was 16 years old. So I went to a pretty good high school and I joined a robotics club. Out of curiosity. You know, I just wanted to learn about robots. And ever since I joined that robotics club, I learned how to code, learn how to program robots. And that's what kind of put me on that path to take programming classes from that point forward.
Okay.
So I learned from high school.
So you were genuinely interested in it, right?
Oh, yes, 1,000%. Yep.
You're a black girl, right?
Yep.
Okay. Let me ask you a question. How many of your peers and your girlfriends can relate to you?
One, and I have one, and she just became a software engineer this past year. But most of my career, it was just been me by myself. None of my friends could relate to me for over 7 years, 8 years. To look me like I was crazy.
How does she get into it? Why is she interested in it? Your girlfriend.
She only got into it because she used to be a sales rep for many years, and then she worked for a company called Comcast. So Comcast came out with a program called Grow to Code. So she applied for the program, and then she got into the program. And because she wanted to make more money, it's the hype.
But she wasn't just genuinely interested in it. She was incentivized by her company, Comcast, which is, well, Comcast owns a bunch of different stuff, but it's an internet-based company, right?
Right.
But she got incentivized by her company, and that's why she got into it, right?
Yes, correct. Yeah, because I knew her for over 15 years, and no, no offense to my girl, but she was never really was into it, and I knew her since high school. She only got to it because of the money, to be honest with you. Nothing wrong with it. I'm in it for the money too, but, there's a difference.
Did you go to school for it? Like, did you go to college for it?
Yes.
You're breaking up a little bit. I'm sorry, Christina.
Computer as well.
So I'm sorry, you broke up a little bit. You said what now, babe? Am I losing her? She walking outside, y'all, so I might be losing her a little bit. Am I right, David? Was I right, though? David, was I right? Was I right, David? Was I accurate or no? Let me get Christina back up here. I'm sorry, I had lost you a little bit.
Am I good?
So yeah, you good now. So you said you went to college for it, right?
Yes, I did.
Okay. How many women that look like you were in your classes?
None. Most of them were Indians or were whites and one Asian through my graduating class. It was just me.
Am I on it or am I on it, Christina?
No, you're on it. Truthfully, you're on it. You're on it. Now, I'm not saying there's no women in the field, but they'll last for a few years or a couple of years and they end up moving on. So I actually enjoy what I do. That's why I stuck around as long as I did. But the ones that do come in, from a professional perspective, they stick on for a couple of years and they leave or they go somewhere else.
Yep. And I will also tell you that your girlfriend that probably is going into it, she's not going to be as good in it because, as you know, you have to continue to work on your skill set. You got to continue to look at the change of technologies in the landscape. You got to continue to go into it. Like, it's more than just, hey, I'm about to learn and I'm about to go to school for it and get a good job.
Yeah,
You
it's
got to
tough.
stay competitive. And I'm not sure that your girlfriend is going to be as good in it because you have to actually love it and want to do it. As a matter of fact, you have to be into it even after the job is over for you to truly grow within that field.
Yep, I agree. And and I mentor her as well. And I tell her all the time, during your off time, you're spending all your off time getting better. But we'll see if you take my advice. But yeah, I advise everybody that who gets into tech is that, you got to continue to learn and grow. Cause that's how you stay viable in the market.
Yep.
Tech stacks
You
always
probably
change,
spend a lot of time on Stack Overflow, right?
Oh yeah, Stack Overflow and now I use GitHub Copilot for most of my coding now and just reference off of that. But yeah, it's a lot of studying over the years.
You got to live it. You got to truly love it. And that's why a lot of people, you got to genuinely want to do it. And that's why I don't think that you see a lot of people in it. It's just not in them.
Yeah. Yeah. And I just wish that more Americans were a part of it. Cause it's cool that we have the Indians and outsource labor. But that'd be one of my concerns though, is that, eventually instead of having like
Well, Christina, I appreciate you for calling in, love. Thank you, my love.
Yeah, of course, no problem.
Appreciate you. Am I off or was I off? Or was I on? Am I off or was I on? I'm telling you, the nature of people, it always prevails. The nature of people prevail 10 times out of 10. When they talk about this diversity, equity, and inclusion, it's a farce. It's a farce. It's not real. It's not. If you want it bad enough and if you're good at it, you will compete and you will be successful in it. You don't need no incentive program in order to do it. You will not need, when you get to the higher levels in life and whatever respective profession that you are in, you won't need a program to get you there. You will not need a program to get you there. They can't incentivize you enough to want to do it because it's just got to be in you. It can't be of you. I'm telling you, all of these diversity, equity, and inclusion programs is trash. It's just a waste of money and resources going into a bunch of stuff that's not going to manifest into anything other than people thinking that they can get a quick buck.
Fear mongering when talking about mass deportations that haven't even happened in Chicago, like we see potentially happen.
What are you talking about? They are literally threatening people all across the country. How can you say that we're overreacting somehow? We're not. They're the ones, I'm talking about Donald Trump and his administration, Tom Homan, people at the Department of Homeland Security. They're the ones that are threatening people, again, who are law-abiding, who are often the anchors of their communities, who are paying taxes in this country. They're the ones who are threatening people. We're just standing up for people who live in our state and in our city.
Governor.
Yeah.
So the amount of money you're spending here, and by the way, great. This is a great achievement by Mr. Davis. Great work here.
Yeah, it's really the achievement of the entrepreneurs that should be celebrated. Yeah.
But rather than spending that amount of money, focusing here, the amount of money that you've spent on harboring illegals over the last 4 years and protecting them now, and after Mayor Johnson's email that just went out yesterday saying they're going to spend more money on protecting illegals at the expense of the American citizens, in particular the west side and the south side. We've got representatives here, we've got Bob Israel here. Why not invest that money there? And then the second question is...
No, sit down. I'm going to answer that question. Now, we're going to move on. Let me answer. I'm going to answer your question. The money that we spend in the state of Illinois is about protecting the residents of the state of Illinois. That is what it is about. We will stand up for anybody who is standing up for the law. We follow the law in the state of Illinois. I'm very concerned that Donald Trump and the federal government is not going to be following the law. Indeed, they have proposed getting rid of birthright citizenship. For many families, imagine,
Again, you need to understand the history of where birthright citizenship came from in the first place to be able to speak to it. They speak broadly towards things because they know that you don't ask questions and you don't do research. You operate out of ignorance and you take their word for it. J.B. Pritzker has never been for the people. And as a matter of fact, he robbing the American dream from the people that are the residents and that are paying taxes inside of Illinois and Chicago. And that's why people are saying that they want to flip red.
My own family, many families that came to this country years ago, right, who have made successful lives over many years, that opportunity would be completely cut off. It's unconstitutional what they're suggesting. It's
you come here legally, you ain't got to worry about it.
We protect birthright citizenship. We all ought to stand up for the Constitution. This president does not.
Why don't you collaborate with the drug larva, the Venezuelans? Why don't you collaborate with ICE with the drug larva, the Venezuelans?
Question over here. Thank you. We're going to protect the residents and the people of the city of Chicago. As a welcoming city, as a sanctuary state, our welcoming city ordinance, alongside of the complementary law of the Illinois Trust Act, is full demonstration of our commitment to protect the residents of this city. Any notion that
I can't stand this dude.
Any notion that would use public spaces like churches and schools, these sanctities, these sanctuaries, as a way to create political divide is not only unconscionable, but it's reprehensible. And what we have done, we have given very clear instructions to our sister agencies in all of our city departments that they should and will and are expected to uphold our welcoming city ordinance. We are not going to interfere, but we certainly are not going to cooperate with that type of abhorrent behavior.
You're not going to cooperate with the president mandating that illegal migrants that are committing crimes inside of your city be removed. Why wouldn't they cooperate? Why are they not cooperating? If somebody has, Tom Homan said, listen, man, if they committing crimes in your city, let us help you get them up out of there. And we'll use federal resources. All we need you to do is point us in the right direction. Or if you arrest them, just let us come and pick them up from the jails and the prisons so that we can get them out of there. What the heck is going on in Chicago? Thank you, Jesus, that I'm not in Chicago. Thank you, God, that I'm not in Chicago. And yes, Jerry, you are right. Not cooperating is interfering.
Yes, ma'am.
This is going to be the last one. What is your direct message to immigrants here in the city of Chicago during this time of very much uncertainty?
Yeah, he did steal my hookup. He stole it. He ain't got the AD on there, though. He did steal my hookup. I agree with you. I need an American pen that go right here, and then we'll be set.
Yeah. I'm going to speak to our immigrant population as well as the entire city of Chicago. The city of Chicago and the state of Illinois, we are a welcoming city and we are a sanctuary city. We are a sanctuary and welcoming state.
Why can somebody, anybody, help me to understand the why? I'm trying to understand the why. I'm genuinely trying to understand the why. I genuinely want to understand the why. What's the why, y'all? Somebody explain it to me. What's the why? Why? Why are they a sanctuary city? Why are they a welcoming state to people that's not supposed to be here illegally? How do we get away with this inside of the United States of America? And why do the voters think that this is okay over in Illinois and Chicago? Well, not the majority of Illinois, but certainly Chicago. Y'all, this is what makes me say that y'all deserve him.
That has not changed because of who won the election. And that's not going to change. What I can speak to in a far more broader way, that any of the measures that the president is looking to execute against working people in the city of Chicago.
This is so dumb.
We will defend our city. It's just that simple. We will defend their rights to have a high quality public education.
Jesus.
He is working to dismantle.
Their rights? They don't have rights. They're not supposed to be here.
The Department of Education, we will defend our rights to protect our environment. He's a president who does not believe in environmental justice and climate change.
Jesus Christ.
We will defend our rights to continue to build more affordable homes. I will say this last thing. The president has...
Do y'all know that Chicago got a credit rating downgrade?
The level of power that other administrations wish they had. The House of Representatives, the United States Senate, the judicial branch of government. If he's serious about making America a place where every single individual can have an opportunity, then he should use his authority to work with the city of Chicago to build more affordable homes. He has the ability to help invest in building more economic opportunities like you're experiencing right here on the west side of the city of Chicago. We are going to defend the interests of working people, and we're very proud to do that. Thank you all very much.
Mayor Mohawk, ladies and gentlemen, you see his mohawk? Mayor Mohawk, ladies and gentlemen, this is the person that represents, he's probably the leader of the Democratic Party at this point, but he's the person that represents you guys, and he loves you. I want to give a shout out to my dog, Spencer Campbell. Thank you, Spencer Campbell, for holding me down on Cash App. I had another story that I wanted to share with you guys, but I think that y'all have got enough for today. I think I've been going off on the people on getting their lives together enough for today. Let me read a few of these super chats, and then we can continue the conversation on after hours. Moving back to Africa to do hard labor and planting sweet potatoes is insane. I agree. Eating the poom poom inside out is crazy. That's what they do. Survival of the fittest over there in Chicago. I mean, not Chicago, in Africa. Might as well have been the same thing. T-Mac says, what we do need at the border is military AR ops and their pilots. I've had the pleasure of working with their Black Hawk pilots, and those guys can walk you on top of an ant in the dark. Jesus. What about veteran owned? No, just create a great product. Just create a great product. What in the World TV says, the new content is about to be hilarious, waiting for Johnson to be arrested for treason. Elsa Turner says, not only that, but they now putting human rights over civil rights. This dude looks like he got bit by a radioactive Chris Christie. He did. Every city and state ran by DI leaders are under siege. Aaron L. says, I agree with your stance on civil rights. See, me and Aaron come together. We come together. We disagree and we come together. Yoshi 504 says, them policies only work on paper. They don't factor in power being given to those who are unqualified for it. Jay Bentley says, tell the people what they need to hear and not what they want to hear. Keep being you, Anton. Much appreciated. That's why they're not giving me my money yet, though. Rich Steve says, most women don't get into STEM programs. They got to be incentivized to do it. Meta adding ads to threads is good or bad? Only if you can monetize from it. Aaron L says, go to an NSBE conference and you will see more black women who code at a high level. It all depends on where you look. That's why DEI is needed. Spencer Campbell, my dog, says not one Democrat voted for the 14th Amendment. Wyatt B856 says, AD, give me a week and I'm going to have Dr. Brandy, Sabrina, and even Kyle over at this show. I'm trying to get them off of the left side. What in the World TV says, I want to see how they are going to defend their rights. Dovey, what up, Dovey, says, you are 100% correct. I have been in IT for 25 years here in Detroit area, worked for all of the big three, and I started off as a developer out of Michigan. They push us lady developers into QA testing and test automation. I know every single tester that I've dealt with is a woman. Most of the time they be Indian women, but they be a woman. They be a woman. Voting in a 48-year-old man with a mohawk is a red flag. They deserve this L. Hold this L, Chicago. Hold this L. I know y'all don't like it, but I got y'all back. I got y'all back. Shout out to my girl, Danny C, and everybody over at Chicago Flips Red. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. It's been an awesome show today. I hope y'all enjoyed the Millionaire Morning Show. We back in the studio next week. Maybe we might be traveling. I don't know, but we in the studio right now. We back in the studio next week. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Y'all are the greatest audience on earth. I'm going to see y'all for after hours tonight. I'm out. Peace.